Hello, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Tonight, I actually have guests at the start of the stream, which was not what it was on Thursday. I have Paigey and 3Dub are both here. How are you guys doing? What's going on?
Fell down a flight of stairs, so, still recovering.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't say that before we went live.
I was saving it for the stream. Like, I literally, my knees are, cut.
Like, how many flights of stairs? Are you talking like a flight of
I'm on the
stairs
third floor, so,
the whole, you fell
No.
all 3 floors? Okay.
No, because there's a turn, but I fell on the last flight of stairs.
Okay.
I, misjudged that there were supposed to be, no steps, and I missed 4. Because I was carrying something down the steps. So I basically was carrying a sofa, and then I fell, and then I landed on my knees landed on the cement stairs, but I softened the blow by landing on the couch. So it wasn't like a full fall, but at the same time, I still hurt myself.
All right, well that's traumatic.
Yeah.
And Paigey, you also have a really traumatic story, right? Like, didn't you?
Well, yeah. Eric sent me unsolicited nudes, and first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is hairy ass. It's not great.
Wow.
What can I say? I'm feeling very Marvel at the moment.
Very, yeah. Well, we call you the White Beau DeMayo, so maybe you're just getting in character.
we got some Beau DeMayo updates as well as some Ray Fisher updates. So we're gonna talk about both of those. Organized Chaos says, my bad knee is a result of a fall down half a flight of stairs. So it hurts. Well, sorry to hear that. Quinlan says, yeah, sad to hear about JEJ, but he was 93. That's years of experience. 9 years back, he gave studio permission to use his voice. I think it was mainly for Star Wars. I think we talked about that a little bit before we went live. That I believe that Lucasfilm is one of the studios that has the ability to use his voice specifically for Darth Vader. So I don't think, they could use it for other projects unless he signed off on it, but I know Darth Vader was one of the ones. What's up, South Texas Shark? Good to see you in the house. Defunct is here. Good to see you.
I would actually be mortified if he actually agreed to a full appearance. You could actually use his appearance too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's the case. I think it was mostly for voice, or only for voice, if I can remember correctly. 1931 to 2024. That's I feel like for the most part, human beings are just having better opportunities to live longer. It feels like we're seeing people, barring any weird health issues, just when they naturally pass, they've had so much time. And so we've had so many great performances from James over the years, things that everybody remembers. And stuff that he's been in. I personally, you guys know, one of my favorite movies is Coming to America, and he's one of the stars in that film. And I remember that role. Of course, people think of The Lion King or Star Wars or Best of the Best. There's a lot of things he's been a part of. Do you guys have any particular role that you like of his?
Well, obviously, Darth Vader and Mufasa, but one of the roles that I found interesting was actually The Big Bang Theory, where he pranks Carrie Fisher.
Oh, really? I didn't see that episode.
Yeah, he guest starred with Carrie Fisher, and they did the Ding Dong Ditch with Carrie Fisher.
No. Paigey, any particular James Earl Jones role that you remember?
I'm sure I've seen him in a bunch of other stuff. The only movie I remember him, the only other movie I remember specifically him being, and just off the top of my head, was Field of Dreams. That's the only one that.
That's one that people say should go down and I think they said his performance is a study-worthy performance in that's something that you could teach to classes.
Yeah, that's one where it's actually him. It's not his voice. It's actually him. So that's the one that stands out. When you ask that. I mean, yeah, because there's Mufasa and Darth Vader, but that's just a voice. It's always better when you actually see the person.
Well,
yeah.
Big Bang Theory, you actually saw the person, so.
Yeah, but then you have to watch Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
That's the negative side of that.
George Lucas released a statement here about this. He goes, James was an incredible actor, a most unique voice both in art and spirit. For nearly half a century, he was Darth Vader. but the secret to all of it was he was a beautiful human being. He gave depth, sincerity, and meaning to all his roles, amongst the most important being a devoted husband to the late CC and a dad to Flynn. So James will be missed by so many of us friends and fans alike.
It's always funny that people think that he voiced Bleeding Gums Murphy on The Simpsons just because they made the joke about like the thing in the sky where it had Mufasa and Darth Vader and James Earl Jones both appear in the sky.
Yeah. We have a super chat here from Naruto. $5 super chat. Who's all going to watch a Star Wars movie tomorrow? We actually were going to watch one like tonight when we get done here. I think we talked about watching one of them. I'm not sure which one it is, but probably Empire Strikes Back. But
you told me you're going to watch Solo, a Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah, that one. That's the best one. I want to talk about also. It's a lot of people are talking about the irony in this happening, or I guess the coincidence of this happening while all this infighting is going on Star Wars. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but like Star Wars Twitter has been on fire the last couple of weeks. I mean, pretty much since the stuff with the Acolyte, and then just all the drama that's happening. And it's just unfortunate that, you know, all of this stuff is going on and people just can't get along. And then you have like large accounts releasing private DMs to try and slander each other. It's just crazy.
I totally forgot he was in Robots. He played the voice box at the hardware store where they do like, Luke, I'm your father. You know, he basically redid that.
Yeah, this is beautiful though. I saw this and I was like, all right, this is really cool. Because I mean, obviously Darth Vader is a character that you're like I think the beauty of Darth Vader as a character is in general, the idea that you have this person that supposedly loved their family and has this like weird past and then falls into the dark side and becomes this character that we meet as a villain, like as a bad guy. And then they flip it on its head and give us like the story of how he got there and, you know, made us care about the character. And then when you go back and you watch everything else that came before that, it sort of changes your view of Darth Vader. And it's still like his performance as this character, the emotion he brings to the character, like somehow it makes more sense. It's like he almost knew that the character was troubled when he was like recording it. So I thought that was quite interesting, but I love this. This is really cool. Let's see here. Remove that. The Cloud here says, loving the early Jack Ryan films, especially Hunt for Red October, and now understand Commander the torpedo did not self-destruct. You heard it hit the hull, and I was never here. Yeah.
I wonder if technically he will be typecast as Darth Vader because that's the only time he will be able to, you know, basically voice anything.
Were we talking about the James Earl Jones?
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
I mean, he can't really be typecast because he'll never be hired in anything again. So typecasting would be like he gets
as
hired
one singular
again
character.
as a character like Darth Vader. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do believe that Darth Vader will, I mean, just in general, and like both of the pictures you have in your camera right now are two roles that will be iconic forever. As long as media is remembered, he'll be remembered for those roles. I have one more thing I wanted to look at here. If I can find the screen to share. Where's it at?
Have you tried those Pepsi Oreos?
No.
No, sorry, the Coke Oreos. The Coke Oreos and the Oreo Coke.
Anything with like a soda and a cookie? No, I've not tried it. So
apparently it's like not very. Oh, apparently like the drink doesn't taste too bad, but the Oreos taste weird.
What? Are they gonna make pizza Oreos now?
I actually would try those.
What you would.
Pizza Oreos all day, every day. So here, this is hilarious. This is Darth Vader voiced by other James Earl Jones film roles. We're gonna end it on this, like end it on a high because this is really funny. I found this earlier and I was like, you know, this would be a good way to end the segment. So this is random roles that he has done that weren't always voice acted roles, just kind of put in where Darth Vader's lines are. This will probably get flagged if you're watching this on playback and it's gone. I do apologize, but YouTube's going to YouTube, so here we go.
The Imperial Senate will not sit still for this. When they hear you've attacked a diplomat...
You broke into my house, stole my property, murdered my servants, my pets, and that is what grieves me the most. You killed my snake,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Take it away! You will eat, sleep, and shit. A team is not a team. You don't give a damn about one another. As you wish. Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger. That is strength, boy. That is power. The strength and power of flesh. What is steel compared to the hand that wields it? Look at the strength.
And this works in this scene. That's crazy.
Inside your heart. I gave you this. Such a waste. Simba, I'm very disappointed.
I know, Father.
You deliberately disobeyed me.
I take it back. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, good way to
Simba,
end off
you
the segment,
disappoint me.
Anyway, R.I.P. Iconic actor who just did so much for film over the years, and yeah, so sad it's gone. But again, like Gwendolyn was saying, I mean, like, what a legacy to leave behind after you're gone. You know, I don't think anybody will ever forget him.
Nope.
You know, for a very, very, very long time. Camry with the Cello Super Chat. I like James Earl Jones and Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins. Oh, I forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. Yes, so, yeah, I forget the villain's name. I'm sure Bob was here earlier. He could probably tell us. But those movies, I only watched them a few times when I was little, but, you know, I do remember him in those. Obviously, unless somebody else can remember who that character is. I know I could use Google, but I'm being really lazy. So there we have it. So let's go ahead. We're going to talk about the next topic, which I thought would be interesting to talk a little bit about. Where is it at here? Some Superman and Lois stuff. So did you see this exclusive photo here with Lex?
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Any thoughts on this, or is it just like, oh, it's a picture?
Well, it's him with the new character, that Amanda McCoy character. I don't know if it's from episode 1 though. I don't know if they specified if it's from episode 1.
There's some other news we're going to talk about here in a second, but it's right around the corner now at this point. Is everybody like fully excited for this, you know, for this coming back? I mean, I feel like the energy is kind of low energy a little bit online for it, but I think a lot of that has to do with it just being the last season and the final like DC TV show. That pretty much sums it up.
Who's the character? Is that like Miss Tessmarker?
What's the name of the character, Paigey, that she's playing? You said
Amanda McCoy.
Is that the actress or the character?
No, the actress is like, oh god, Yvonne Chapman. I think the actress is Yvonne something. I think it's Chapman.
Honestly, she looks like Sophie from Supergirl. Speaking of Sophie, she's going. She's going to Grey's Anatomy, where Alex Danvers' actress was.
Well, speaking of that, we watched a movie tonight that we did not finish, and it's not a new movie, but we saw it and we were like, let's watch this because we were bored. And when I tell you what it is, I want to know if either one of you saw this, and anybody in the chat that saw this, and it is related to what we're talking about, and I'll tell you why in a second. But it was Clerks 3, the one that came out a couple years ago. Did anybody watch this movie?
No.
Paigey, did you see it?
Clerks 3. I think I did watch Clerks 3, but it wasn't great compared to like Clerks 1 and 2.
Right. Okay. Well, the reason why I'm bringing it up is surprisingly in the middle of it, because I don't want to spoil the movie if anybody's not seen it. It's not a great movie in my opinion. Thank you so much, Bob. I thought it was a good goodbye to the characters, but 1 and 2 I think were much better. But Melissa Benoist is in it for like a split second in the movie, and so I was like, as we were watching it, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh wait, hold on, Melissa Benoist. Okay, I'm down for that. Yeah, it was kind of funny. So let's take a look at some of the news about this particular season here. Here's the first bit. The Kent family's inner circle will remain intact on Superman and Lois Season 4, with familiar faces making appearances throughout the season. From John Henry to Natalie to Lana to Sarah, Helbing says everyone is going to have an ending to their journeys. I kind of expected this. Any thoughts on this?
I saw a synopsis of episode 4 where it says it's Chrissy and Kyle.
We're getting to that. That was the next thing we're going to talk about. Talk about what I just said here. Don't jump ahead to the next thing.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm glad that they're keeping it family. You know, like they're not changing the dynamic of like they're going to be together.
Did you think? I mean, I remember there was a point where we thought we weren't going to get endings for some of these characters. You remember that, like when we first heard they weren't coming back. So for me, hearing this news makes me happy because even if we only get them for a couple of episodes, at least they'll be tying up their stories and it'll feel like a proper ending to the show. And especially like Nat and John, like I definitely wanted them to have a chance to do something because I felt like they've been building up to something big only for the show to end on season 4. Considering I thought season 4 and 5 were on the table, but I'm guessing 5 was never truly an option at this point. So I think this was really like a truncated version of what season 4 would have been. Because honestly, I feel like they probably would have felt in a better place ending the show with like 14 or 15 episodes. Instead of like losing a couple episodes here and there. So any thoughts on this, Paigey? I mean, is this what you expected or not? Like ending for every character or
Yeah, it's sort of what I expected. I think it was just more like how they balanced the characters before their departures and also like how they handle the departures, especially for like certain characters. Like I think obviously it's easy for like Sam Lane because he doesn't live in Smallville, for example, to just easily write him out. But then with like John and Natalie and Lana and Sarah, and then like with Kyle and Chrissy, but I think you can sort of read what they're going to do, especially like Kyle and Chrissy probably leave Smallville. He probably takes up another job, and that's the easy way to out them. Write them out of the show. Right. And with like Natalie and John, like who knows? But then with Lana, she's based in Smallville, but then you can easily have her not be present because she's in the she's like the government side of things, so she'd just be out. But then also it just depends like where episodes are placed. Like there could be an episode that's placed not in Smallville, and that easily explains why Lana or Sarah isn't there. Same with Kyle or Chrissy, but it might explain why Natalie and John are there because they're there in their steel suits or just there to help, or it could just be based at the Ken house and stuff like that. So it's just the balance there. I think it's just more like because I think in the synopsis for episode 2 it says that like Lana and Sarah. No, that's not. I thought that was a synopsis, but it says Lana and Sarah there. But then like Lana's in the series finale. So how do they stretch out her story from episode 2 through to episode 10 when some characters might be gone by episode 5 or 6?
Right. Yeah. I wonder if we're going to see everybody that's still around in the finale. Like all of the characters.
I have a theory though. I think that since it's the death of Superman, like while he's dead, there's going to be centric episodes. I don't think he's going to stay dead for a long time. No, I think he's going to be dead for like 5 episodes.
I don't even know if he's going to be dead officially. He might just be like knocked out in space or something. They think he's dead. I mean, like the absence of him will be like they're going to use centric episodes to wrap up the characters that were left. Amethyst with a super chat here says this is a new channel. No, it's just there is another channel, but it's on both channels. It's on like you can watch it on both of the channels.
Yeah, he's got the unwoke channel, which is slowly turning woke, which is the old Eric's Relay. Then he's got full woke, which is the debunks.
No, Eric debunks.
No, it's just whatever it's called. Eric goes full woke.
Oh. Here's the next topic, which is what you brought up a second ago, 3Dub, which is episode 4. This sounds awful to me, I'll be honest. Like out of all the news, I'm ready to like bang my head against a wall. Episode 4 of Superman and Lois will be a really fun Kyle and Chrissy centric hour. It features possibly the best montage the show has ever done. Now, look, I'm always, when it comes to shipping stuff, you know that I'm immediately like 50% less interested in it. But also, I feel like this might be the episode where we're dealing with Superman coming back and he's healing, and so they're taking a break from that to talk about these characters. But I just hate that we got a limited amount of episodes and we're going to spend an entire episode sort of dedicated to this. That feels like such a waste to me, honestly. Am I the only one that feels that way? Do you guys feel like that? Am I being like obnoxious?
I think it just depends like how it's done, because you could do stuff with Kyle and Chrissy which can be good. It's just how it's written and how, because the thing is, in like past seasons, the characters just use there usually to support whatever Lois is doing or whatever Clark's doing or whatever Jonathan or Jordan is doing and stuff like that. But if you make, you know, just a good piece of television that's well written and it flows well, anything can be good. You know, you can make anything good, even if it might not necessarily fit the show. But we've been with these characters for 3 seasons. We've known all the characters for 3 seasons. So it's not like it's just some random showing up and taking screen time. But I feel like this sort of suggests that like at least Superman won't be around until post episode 5 or episode 5 after.
Well, properly around. He might be back on Earth, but maybe not.
Yeah, because I think if they were doing an episode where he comes back, or it's like it'd be like the main focus.
I would be really annoyed if we spend 3 episodes without anything Superman related. I mean, I'm hoping that he's in the episodes. Maybe he's not on Earth. Maybe he's not interacting with people. But I'm hoping that he's in the episodes, because I would really be bummed out if that was the case. So, but coming back very soon. I still haven't checked to see if my if the CW's back in my area. So I might be shit out of luck for watching the season when it comes around. All right, so let's talk about some Spider-Man stuff, and then we'll get into random stories here. Where's that? So Spider-Man 4 finds its director in Destin Daniel Cretton. Was this a surprise for anybody?
No, but I can guarantee you that they're going to be like, the choreograph is going to be more action.
Well, I think it's surprising for a couple of reasons. Like, one, are we saying RIP Shang-Chi?
I was going to say, is Shang-Chi 2 like put on the back burner indefinitely?
And also,
because...
but I reckon he's got this because he got screwed by the Avengers thing, because he was meant to do Kang Dynasty, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah. And I think probably they want to stay because they like him, so they don't want to lose him as a director. So I think this is like you're not going to get an Avengers movie, but we're going to give you a Spider-Man.
We'll give you a Spider-Man. Like, because, yeah, I mean, you can't, like, no offense to Shang-Chi, but it'd be a bad thing to get the Avengers gig and then go, oh, Soz, go back doing Shang-Chi.
I still feel like he's locked in for Shang-Chi 2.
But that was the thing. I think he probably would have done Kang Dynasty and done Shang-Chi 2 anyway. So, but like to lose Avengers, then probably get nothing, it would be a bit of a kick in the nuts.
Look, you know? I know people talk about this in a weird way when it comes to Avengers stuff or whatever, but to me, getting a Spider-Man movie is literally a lateral move. Like, it's like the Avengers and Spider-Man are the 2 biggest things that the MCU has without Iron Man around. So this feels to me like, oh, you're not going to get the Avengers, we'll give you Spider-Man. That's the way I feel about it. But I like him a lot, but I hope that this doesn't compromise Shang-Chi 2, because I want to see those characters continue. And without an Avengers movie, we don't know when we're going to see them again. And so that makes me a little nervous.
MCU character, the one that Awkwafina plays, is like, you just need to see her sooner rather than later.
No, I don't like her. But I do like the characters in the movie, and I wish they would have done something with his sister too, because they set something up for that. That was supposed to be, I'm assuming it was supposed to be something on Disney Plus, and that never happened. So, I mean, I truly feel like, to me, this means we're going to have a solid Spider-Man movie. I'm not too concerned about that. But we have a little bit of news here as well with Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, who wrote the previous 3 Spider-Man films, are returning to write the script. And Tom and Zendaya are both working on their deals to return to Spider-Man. I mean, there was no chance that they were going to turn down as long as it worked in their schedule, they were coming back 100%.
Well, yeah, especially Tom Holland, who doesn't really. He's got an awful agent. Let's be completely honest. He can't get a good gig outside of Spider-Man.
If Tom Holland wasn't like in it, Spider-Man 4, I don't think would happen.
So Anthony, yeah, the thing is that they're saying that, and we've even read that prior to this that we're getting a second film, but right now it seems like it's just completely. I don't believe anything they say. Like as much as Marvel was very transparent about release dates and stuff prior COVID, everything post COVID has been fluid. None of it has been static. There's very few things that have gone exactly according to plan.
The best way to put it is that they've been very, very Oreo Coke, but haven't been Coke Oreo.
Right. That's the best way to put it for sure. Let's see. I see Naruto here with the $5 super chat. This is random. Have any of you tried the new Mountain Dew mystery flavor Voodoo? I don't know if Australia has it.
I would not be trying anything mystery flavored from Mountain Dew. I already have trust issues with the surprise. I don't know if they released that in America, but they released that surprise Fanta where it didn't have a flavor. I tried that. It tasted like ass.
They have something here that's got a surprise flavor. When we have it, it's very international though.
Yeah,
and it's
I was going to say something. I was going to get you.
It's demonetized. Well, you've already done it. You mentioned something about.
No. This would have been much worse. This would have been.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I haven't tried it yet. Somebody was like, maybe you should do shorts where you try sodas. Like go buy like a bunch of different sodas and just try them.
I saw it. Well, I saw a thing, and they were saying like it was a thing, and they were saying like, what's the top 3 Australian foods? Like if you had to like give someone Australian food, both pre-packaged or cooked or a meal, what would you give? Someone, whether it was Australian or international, I wasn't too sure. But do you have a top 3 American food off the top of your head?
I mean, there's Americana restaurants where like you have like basic American food. Like when you ask somebody what American food is, they're probably going to tell you like ribs or steak or burgers or chicken or something like that. It's going to be just very basic stuff there because most American food is just international food that's been made here. Like that's pretty much what it is. I don't know a lot of like American-centric stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to think off the top of my head, like in regards to a meal and stuff, and the only things I could think of were like a meat pie. Australian-wise, it was like a meat pie, like a sausage on a roll.
Pavlova, Australia's known for pavlova, so that's.
The chat is like Mountain Dew, like crazy right now.
But you know, pavlova's from New Zealand.
I know, but I'm saying like.
But Australia stole it, and we made it better. So.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, like when I'm thinking of Australian stuff, like whenever we're watching like baking shows and stuff, pavlova is.
They make a pavlova. Dish, so. Have you tried making a pavlova?
No, I've not.
You should. Do you have meringue over there? Do you eat meringue?
Yeah. Yes, we have we have a version of it. I've never tried to make it though, so. Okay. I know better. I'm not gonna try and. Do anything special there.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how long do you think it'd take you to have a heart attack if you came here and ate all the food? I'm thinking 4 days.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, I never want to test that.
Fear factor.
I'll never be there to do that. More Spider-Man news, except in the animated department here. It says Sony reportedly scrapped most of the work that was finished on Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse due to creative reasons. Workers have found more time to work on a movie which is now expected to hit theaters in 2027. So apparently they just scrapped work, like stuff that was finished and almost finished stuff.
I don't like when the Sony like pokes their head out and like tries to like change things because their ideas suck.
I mean, do we want them to rush through this? No, I don't think anybody wants them to rush through it. But at the same time, I also get worried when you have art by committee, like you were saying with Sony, where you have people come in and say, it needs to do this. Like this is the end of a solid 2-film thing right now, which would be a trilogy to cap it off. And I can't tell you the amount of times trilogies have fucked up the third movie for me.
Oh, what the fuck? It's disgusting, defunct. That sounds disgusting. I love.
Oh yeah,
I like pea and ham soup. I don't know about a meat pie. The pea and ham soup. Soup. Not sure about that.
So for me, this is a little bit concerning because now what is the final movie going to be? Is it going to be the vision of the team behind it, or is it going to be the way Sony wants them to wrap it up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned. However, 2027 feels like a really good, solid date for it. That one feels realistic. I think the movie can be made in that amount of time. And it doesn't like it's going to stress out the creative team behind this film franchise, because the reality is it doesn't have to end after the third film. They could do a Spider-Verse 4, Spider-Verse 5. They could do whatever they want. Because I think the idea is for Sony, these are very profitable movies, and they make a lot of toys that are profitable for them. The IP is profitable for them. Marvel's waiting around to use Miles Morales in live action, and I don't think Sony has any intention of letting them have Miles until they're done with this animated franchise.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think it's been like announced like for like a few years now, but they said something about like live action Miles Morales from Sony, not Marvel. I'm not like
no, I mean they could do that because it's their character right now. They own the ability to release it. But the issue is that if they do that, then they'd have to rope in the whole Venom storyline. They would have to have another Spider-Man to make it work. Unless they just retold the whole story and pretended like Miles became Spider-Man before Peter Parker, which that would... the internet's already messy when it comes to this shit. Like, if they did something like that, it would be like sky is falling.
But I don't trust them with Miles. Like, I think that if there was going to be a Miles, it would be a MCU project.
So you would rather see Miles the MCU thing?
Yeah. Because it's already been hinted that Donald Glover's character has a cousin or nephew.
Yeah, but I think that was an Easter egg though.
Yeah, but I mean, like he's there. We just haven't seen him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, the other thing is, there's been arguments about how canon works. You know, what's canon, what's not canon, blah blah blah. For me, until we see Miles in the MCU, I'm just going to assume that could be anybody, and that was just an Easter egg for us. What are your general thoughts on Miles anyway as a character? Because a lot of people, especially the older generation, doesn't really connect with Miles as much. I think Miles is a really interesting Spider-Man. Ever since I played the Miles game on PS5, I've really enjoyed the story of this character and how different he is from Peter Parker, because I know a lot of people seem to think that he's just like a palette swap of Peter Parker. He's really not. He's a very different character.
I just thought of this. What if we get like a Prowler story? Like a Prowler from another Earth, you know, because it's a multiverse, you know, saga. Like a Prowler comes through and messes with Tom Holland Spider-Man.
You mean like a live action Prowler?
Yeah, live action Prowler.
I wouldn't
That
want
would be
them to do
interesting.
that.
I mean, that would be interesting.
It would be interesting, but then it would kind of screw with bringing Miles in, because they would be putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, but like he already like before his father died.
Yes, there is a version that interacted with Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Yeah,
but the one in the Ultimate universe, we retroactively knew that he was a Spider-Man villain because Miles became Spider-Man very quickly after the Ultimate universe started. So that version of the Prowler is actually better than the version from like the main continuity or any version that I ever remember, because he wasn't even a really, as far as back as I know with Spider-Man, Prowler was never like this A+ villain that everybody loved. A lot of Miles stories took villains that were not good for Peter and made them better for
in the game.
Miles.
He kind of felt like Taskmaster. Like
a little bit, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, 100%. Paige, do you like Miles as a character? Spider-Man, or how do you feel about it?
I mean, my only real proper like introduction to like exploration of the character, might I say, outside of the animated movie was the game. I think he's fine. I don't know like necessarily why there'd be, regardless of like the racist shit. Like, I don't understand like the over criticism, like because there are people that aren't just being racist that maybe don't like the character, but you know. Everything's subjective when it comes to characters.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that because those people are assholes. I'm talking about like general criticisms of Miles. So.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I don't necessarily see anything like majorly wrong with the character, but at the same time, nothing like stands out. But I think that mainly comes down to the fact, like, with any mantle holder, if you are like the next coming, whether the previous mantle holder is still there or not, you're pretty much playing with their sloppy seconds for the most part. So, like, I think the only thing I've ever seen with Miles is that, like, and it, you know, it's obviously not the character's fault. It's like whether Marvel themselves wants new villains to be introduced in that world, and that's the only thing. Like, it's just about like specific villains for Miles. But you see characters like Wally West, with the Flash and stuff like that, where they really don't get theirs either. They're usually playing with either the same villain that the previous mantle holder was playing or versing with, or like a slightly different iteration, but it's the same sort of villain. Like it's another version of Captain Boomerang or whatever it is. You know?
Yeah. So it's really funny to me because you mentioned the whole like playing second fiddle, I guess, or sloppy seconds, whatever it was you said to like the main.
You said sloppy seconds.
No,
I said
you said sloppy
fiddle.
seconds.
I think you're.
You said it.
Chat.
No, you said that, not me. Run the tapes back.
Replay it back about 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I was gonna say I'm gonna disagree with you on that one because I think some characters got improved in their second iterations. Like I love Jay Garrick, but I think Barry Allen was a better Flash when he was at his.
Oh
prime
yeah, I'm
than
also
Jay
talking about
Garrick
like the
was.
like established like where because Jay Garrick really only had like and they were really corny. But I'm talking about like someone like it's obviously going to be hard for Miles Morales to hold the T in regards to Peter Parker's not just Peter Parker as a Spider-Man because obviously Miles can do that if he wants to. That's obviously going to be subjective. But obviously the world around them with the villains or the supporting characters.
Well, then what about Wally
Peter
West?
Parker,
Wally West.
that's what I mean.
people say
Peter
he
Parker was
surpassed Barry
around
Allen,
for like what 70? Well, how long when did Spider-Man get created?
Give me
The-
a second.
It was
Mid-40s?
Amazing Fantasy 15. I don't remember the actual date.
late
I think it
40s?
was. I think it was the.
Because obviously it went up to the point like it
I
was
don't
all
remember
Peter
the date.
Parker.
1962.
Oh, okay,
I, I, knew it was,
1962.
I knew it was in the 60s, but I wasn't sure
Okay.
exactly what the date was.
No, you said the 40s. But anyway, it was supposed to
I didn't say the 40s. You said the 40s. Which
So,
means
yeah.
that the Flash has actually been around a lot longer. So let's continue. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Let me finish. So Peter Parker had about 50 years of no one really being there alongside him in regards to the comic market and like introducing villains. So he got everything. It's like, oh, this would be a good Spider-Man villain. But now that can be mixed up and stuff. It's obviously only been 10 years and he's still got to compete with a character they might want to put with Peter Parker rather than Miles Morales. So obviously it's always going to be harder for him to stand out, at least in regards to the new crap.
I didn't
So,
realize
I would-
Miles Morales was like 2011.
Yeah. He's been around.
Sorry,
over
49
that
years. Fuck me.
Well, surprisingly, Barry Allen was the Flash for 30 years before Wally West became the Flash. So I would say that he also had a strong legacy. So I really think it comes down to what you do
And
with
Wally-
the character.
And Wally got all the weird 90s crap as well. You know, like they made the weird
That's true.
villains.
But
They
a
got
lot of
the-
people will tell you that Wally West was their first Flash. They'll tell you
Oh,
that
yeah.
they
Well, I
started
think,
with Wally West
but I think
first.
that mainly comes around from the animated show.
Right, but my point being is that within the next decade, people will be saying that Miles Morales was their first Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Or,
So it will.
yeah.
So we might look at it a different way now, but 10 years from now, we'll start to see the kids
Well,
who grew up with Miles as their primary Spider-Man.
That's if the movie ever comes out, this third one.
What's kind of funny is like my favorite one I grew up with is Bart Allen.
Oh yeah, see, I think everybody's got a different opinion on who they're.
Where the
like,
fuck was
like,
Bart Allen in this shit?
Smallville.
Oh, I mean, he's in like 3 episodes. Like,
No, a lot more than that.
mate, he's in like 2 episodes.
Nope, a lot more than that.
He's in like, what, 4 episodes? Like, hardly any.
I think it's like 5.
Oh,
my
fine.
God.
How many episodes of Smallville are there?
217.
Okay, he was in 5 of 217 episodes. So-
Because he's like a side.
So he's in literally
basically a
less than 4% of the
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah. Hey, Dane, I sent the link in Discord. It should be there in our group chat.
You know what song I've been stuck in my head? That
Let me know if it's
Baby
on there.
Come Back. The Kid Leroy one, not the old one, but that remix one.
Yeah.
It was on the radio the other day, and it's now stuck. It's on all these. You know when they put like when they go to an ad on like program, they'll play random music for like 10 seconds. We'll be back in a moment, and then they play
Yeah.
10 seconds of music. They always use that song for some reason. Baby, come back.
Yeah, Dane, sure. And anybody, when I send the link out, like anybody can jump on at any time, as long as we're not ending the stream, which I think a couple of people have jumped on, like right when I'm like, oh, we're ending the stream, and then boop, they pop in. So Troy here with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Troy, and a Team Eric member. I love the hell out of Miles, much more aligned with the more modern hip hop era version, but he's a Spider-Man, not the Spider-Man. Love both, though, in my opinion. And I feel like a lot of people have had that take over the years. My issue with this take only applies when people don't like him because he is a black character. That's when I'm like,
well, that's where you used to have your stand.
oh, that was my standard before. Yeah. No, I've always liked Miles Morales. Peter Parker, it's really hard.
Did you read his?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering because you obviously started out with the Marvel comics sometimes, or from like time to time. Did you read his comic or series, I guess, whichever way you want to put it, when he came out, or was it more like later?
Miles?
Yeah.
The Ultimate Universe? No, I read it like about 3 or 4 years after it came out, only because I wasn't even aware it was a thing. By the time the Miles comic came out, I wasn't really going into the comic shops and buying comics. I was basically invested in reading them online when the first era of like digital comics came out or whatever. But they didn't have like new releases. You were only reading like old shit that had been scanned and uploaded, so I didn't have anything. So I started reading this about 4 years after it came out. But at that point, he already had a ton of content. So what are you laughing about now?
Someone
what's so
said
funny?
how hard is
You said Peter Parker is really hard, and then
because you cut me off before I could finish it. That was a planned attack. It was a verbal attack against me, and I will not stand for it. And speaking of standing for things, Dane is here to stand.
I'm actually sitting down. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck. Okay, there we go. Never mind.
How's it going, everybody?
I am swell. That's the term I'll use today. I am swell.
Swell. I know what went on before the stream started, so I know you're not exactly swell.
No, I've got the shits. Yeah, I got the shits. Actually.
Yeah. So,
I fell down
Not
flight of
physically,
stairs, so
but-
I mean.
yeah, you missed it, Dane.
recovering.
So traumatic events for both of them, but thank you for asking. Anyway, so.
Mine's all traumatic. Mine's just a pain in the ass because I have to now get a shot. Oh, I dropped my phone at the beach and like watery sand went into everything and stuff.
Very traumatic. What,
Yeah.
did you bleed for it?
So, Dane, what's your take on this? I don't know when you jumped in, but we were talking about the release date for the film and how long it's taking. And my opinion on that is, give them the more time, the better. I mean, as long as we're not waiting a decade, I'm good with giving them time to do it.
Okay, so this is the third one, right? Is what they're talking about?
Yeah, it's the end of the trilogy. Yeah.
Well, okay. First of all, my take is that this is by that Jeff Snyder guy, and I kind of like,
Right.
He's actually the guy. As a matter of fact, he's the guy who said that he had the hot scoop years ago before Tom Holland Spider-Man was announced that the Marvel was going to be making Spider-Man a black guy. This for Peter Parker was going to be a black kid.
Right.
That was something he just said that.
Yeah, he's got some yikes. He's got some yikesy takes. So.
Not that it's yikes for Peter Parker to be a black dude. It's just that he was wrong.
No, I mean, like, definitely stoking that whole, like,
Right.
Peter Parker's going to be black, so watch people get mad about it. That's
why I didn't trust some of the stuff that, like, because he actually did have seems to be, his scoop was accurate when it came to Beau DeMaio, because he had said shortly after Beau was fired, there was some, it wasn't anything as egregious as what it apparently turned out to be, but there was some stuff like he was just kind of an asshole to work with or whatever.
We got a little clip we're going to watch from Beau here in a second, so that should be.
Oh boy! But yeah, no, this
Is there a penis in it? Is it from his OnlyFans?
No penis.
But like, why would they do that? I wonder. Is it just like?
Yeah, we talked about this. I don't know why they would scrap the finished work. So I hate when they say creative reasons, because that's literally just an excuse for, like, anytime they have to do something. It's like, oh, there was a creative difference or something like that. So I don't know what that actually means. The only thing I could assume is, I like the new title, Pagey. West Virginia Beau DeMaio. Got it.
Well, I mean, so it's not like they completed the whole fucking animation process, right? Like, it wasn't finished work. So it was maybe just like some rough, animatic type stuff. I don't know.
So I'm concerned reading this now, because I think the creative team saw this as a 3-movie thing. Like, this is the way they wanted the trilogy to be. I'm just hoping that Sony isn't, like, making them change everything so that they can continue this on after the creative team that's involved with it, like, goes away. You know what I mean? Like, that's my only fear. So
leave it to Sony, though, man. Like, I mean, they're kind of the only one that's still around doing it, where it's like, it could be it's a crapshoot whether they're gonna,
Are they scrapping it?
Are
Are they scrapping it because, like, it was one of those situations where it was like, oh, you do the work and then you get paid, sort of things.
like a tax
like
rate
Marvel
or
pays
something.
Marvel pays the, like, also not Marvel, sorry, Sony pays whatever animation company is doing it or something like that.
I don't know if that's it either. But like Dane was saying, who this is coming from, it's a 50-50 shot on whether this is accurate or not. But I do feel like 2027 is that, to me sounds like, even if they didn't scrap it, that feels like the right time for the movie to come out. Darren was here for 5 seconds and now he's gone. I didn't even get a chance to introduce him, but maybe he'll be back in a second. Hi Darren, bye Darren. We'll see you in a second. I'm sure we'll come back into it and talk about this. Go ahead, Dane. Sorry.
If you saw this, but I just want to say that R.I.P. to John Cassaday, the artist, Marvel artist.
I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that at all.
Passed away apparently at 52 years.
What is going on today? 52? I am too close to that number. I am too close. That makes it super real.
There were like some of his art had come out a few months ago. I remember like he did Astonishing X-Men, Planetary, all kinds of good stuff, and he's a great artist. And some of his stuff he was doing some covers. I guess that's really all he'd done in a while, and they were really, really rudimentary to say the least. Like
Wait, it was Joe Quesada.
No.
No, John Cassaday.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Joe Quesada, like the Marvel dude.
No.
That'd be
but yeah, it's they haven't said what it was. I guess that there's something. It seems like something with his brain or something from context. I have no idea what though.
That's oh man, that's rough.
It's a bummer because he was like his art. That book, Astonishing X-Men, was my entry back into comics as an adult after I've been out of them since I was like 17 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when that Astonishing X-Men was coming out and I got it, I was like, oh man, this looks great. And I was off to Comicsville from there, but yeah.
That's sad to hear. R.I.P. Just
sorry,
I feel like,
I bummed out your vulture.
No, it's okay because we started out with R.I.P. for James Earl Jones, which, by the way, another like incredible talent gone. And but Darren has shown up, so
hello.
Good to see you,
How's
Darren.
it going?
Pretty good. What is your take before we move on to the next topic on the Spider-Man news about if it's true about the delay to 2027 and all of that?
I mean, I called that forever ago that it would be 20, like even before the scrap day, because I was like, it doesn't seem like it's going to come out next year. Like, it doesn't feel like they have enough information. It doesn't seem like it's going to be 2026 because Spider-Man 4 seemed like it was going to be 2026. I don't think they'd put out 2 Spider-Man movies in the same year. Yeah. That leaves 2027. Like, this sucks. Like, it sucks that there seems to be some like behind the scenes stuff going on with the movie. I've had my take though since the second one came out. Like, take as long as you need on that movie to make the best possible movie you can make. Like, I know that's easy to say from the people that are like, not making the project, but like, those first 2 movies to me are like some of the best movies I've ever seen. Like, I think
I've said this before. The very first one to me at the time when it came out, and maybe even to this day, was my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. The very first Spider-Verse movie. And I still feel like with even the other Spider-Man films we've had, it's still in like the top 1 or 2 for me because it's so good. I just feel like in animation, you can do things with Spider-Man that you just cannot do in live action. And I feel like those movies achieve it. Like the movements and the shapes, something about Spider-Man and the way he moves works beautifully, like with drawing and animation, and it doesn't always translate into live action. It just doesn't. And I love the live action stuff.
Yeah.
So and, what are you laughing at now? Jesus, you're always snickering at something.
I shouldn't be laughing because
no, you should not. Shame on you.
No, but it was like because Zaya said, "Did you hear about Rich Homie Quan dying too?"
Oh, that was like a couple days ago, I thought. Why were you laughing at that, though?
No, because I was...
#exposed? Like, what the fuck?
No, let me speak. So, I was laughing. Well, shout out, because I only know 2 songs that he's in, which is that weird Little Dicky song, and my N-word, which I know is Eric's favorite song, but he's got the most iconic bun.
Right, yeah. On repeat.
Yeah. Shout out, Rich Homie Quan.
Anyway, moving on since you laughed at the death of someone,
if you want to see him, go back to Eric Strange from like 5 years ago. He sings my N-word. Explicit.
That absolutely is not true.
He really
slander and cancel me on this good day of the week.
He emphasizes the Rich Homie Quan part of that song as well.
Absolutely. Go searching for it. I'm sure you'll find it. Anthony Beltry says, it's not surprising Lord Miller always has a problem post-production ever since Solo and everybody clapped since they left. Oh, clapped about it since he left. Look, I know this is an unpopular opinion, and I know this isn't really what you're talking about, and Paige mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to bring it up here. Solo is not an awful movie. It's not great,
like
but it's not awful.
Solo's messy. That's like, it's just messy.
I think it's just fun.
I think it's like an Indiana Jones in space, which is what I think they were going for.
I've only seen it once, actually. Wait, did I see it? I think I only saw it once in theaters.
Watch it again without the world speaking.
No, but even when I watched it, I thought, oh, that was fine. But I just thought it wasn't anything amazing. But I was surprised that they didn't keep going. Not just with that, but any sort of other solo sort of thing. Not like other individual stories and stuff.
Michael here became a new channel member. Thank you.
Yeah, look, mate, yours truly is backing it up. I remember he did it during the halftime show for the After Party Crisis stream.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That one's still live, so go watch it. Timestamp it when you find it and let me know.
Your memory's fading you,
Maybe I'll remember then when you'll find it. Okay, so we have a Beau DeMaio video. This is actually uploaded by him. So we found out last week that if you wanted to find out the truth about what happened, you have to subscribe to his OnlyFans. And then, along with all the other dirty photos, you'll get a story about. Like,
I have to ask,
or whatever.
Does he post his like balls and stuff, or is it just
he did not prior to being let go from Marvel, and I don't follow his OnlyFans, so I don't know if he does now.
Well, I was going to say
he didn't before.
Wait, so post Marvel. There's balls and all on his.
People are saying, like, I don't subscribe. If you want to know, you can surely go over and spend the $10 a month to see the peen if it's there. I'm totally okay with you doing that.
I'm just wondering.
I'm not going to judge you, I promise. But I will say this: I don't know, and I'm not paying to find out. So if it's happening,
is anyone in the chat? Is anyone in the chat subbed? Subbed to the OF?
Why are you so concerned about this?
No, I'm wondering. I'm curious about the thing there, but I'm not curious enough to subscribe. But trust me, people are way more curious than I am.
It sounds to me like you are ready to subscribe right now, and I can tell you it's very easy.
Oh no, do you want to go
credit card?
Do you want to go halves in an OF sub?
What was that, Dane? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
He wants to make sure the balls are going to be there first.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, I get it.
Always check for balls. You know what I mean?
Shout out to that one person that had to like subscribe to get all the information from.
Right, you had to 100%. Anyway, roping back into what I was saying here. So we found out. Like, no, we're going to keep moving on here. So found out last week that his OnlyFans was the only way we were going to find out anything about this, and we got some stories about it. So
Jara's got the investigative reporting. That's what we do here. Investigative reporting.
Yeah, you can go do that. So we have here a video directly from his Twitter. Now, I haven't watched the video, but somebody told me I should watch it because they're like, you have to go watch this. So this is me doing my due diligence and watching the video. So
imagine you go to apply for a mortgage and they go, what's this OF subscription on your bank statement? It's like, oh, I was doing investigative reporting.
They sent you the wrong link, Eric. Don't.
You know what, Darren? Now you got me nervous.
Imagine you
this could be exactly what. Yeah, I was gonna say this could be exactly what Paigey thinks it's gonna be. So look, see. Now I come in and Eric's talking about OnlyFans. I mean, it's not just me. It's Paigey. Paigey wants to see people on OnlyFans.
Eric,
and
have you done a security check before putting this on here?
I have not, and all I see is a blank screen. So let's really. Chat, let's really hope that this isn't going to get me in trouble. I don't know. We got Russian assets and stuff, so maybe they're also doing it with like the prawn on Twitter. So let's go ahead. Here we go.
Oh God.
What is up,
everyone? Shit. Oh God, of course he is.
Why is he always okay? So this is my thing. If you're being accused, Beau, if you're being accused of sending people inappropriate images and photos and videos of you with no clothes on, the one thing you could do to really help your case is to put a tank top or something on before you film a video.
You could even you could even put the thing on that what's the thing from 50 First Dates? The brother wears it, like the mesh singlet or something. At least it's something.
Something. So he's on here. He's like, okay, I'm gonna
see. So Gwendolyn in chat, she says, she's like, he's doing more harm than good because he's half naked, but we don't know that. He might be.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're upsetting the people that don't want to see anything by having the shirt off, but then you're upsetting the people that want to see something by only showing half.
I mean, come on.
Maybe he's trying to be win-win or lose-lose.
This is why he did a fade in because he didn't want people to see him shirtless first. He's like, I'm going to let them have it. So here we go.
What is up, everyone? Happy Friday. It's definitely been a bit of a week. So, like I said, the page at the link below isn't going to be all gloom and doom. Kicking off Monday, we're going to do a deep dive into the first episode of X-Men 97, as well as just discuss the pitching process.
Wait a minute, wasn't this why he was in trouble in the first place with them?
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly why he's in legal trouble with them, because he's not supposed to be doing this.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Doubling down.
Yeah.
Process, how I devised and came up with the Bible before even going into production, and then we're gonna dive
Three
deep
dub.
into just all the
Inappropriate.
individuals that got that first episode off the ground because they worked in TV or know anything about TV. Pilots are nightmares to get done. So also over there, please go ahead and hit me up in my inbox about characters you want to see.
Look, Beau, I'm not going to be hitting you up in your inbox for anything because it seems like
my DM.
Yeah, he's like telling people to do this, and I'm like, bro, like seriously, this is not helping anything that you're dealing with right now, and I mean that genuinely. Like, I don't necessarily believe everything that's being said about him, but honestly, this is not like you're shirtless. You might not have anything on, and you're doing all the things that they told you not to do that you agreed to.
We heard about your what you put in people's inboxes, man. I don't want to.
I mean, look, there might be some people that want, like, look, consent is a cool thing. So,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
if you're into it, like, do you? I'm good. I'm good.
Want me to explore? If you just have comic book runs, you want to dive in deep because I'm going to do my first live next week. And I'll dive into some of those questions and some of those topics for you.
Where's the live going to be? Is the question. Is it going to be on OF? Is it going to be on YouTube? Is it going to be on Twitter? Where is the live going to be?
Do it on Twitter, please. I beg you. That'd be so funny.
Well, you know, the truth is on Twitter, he could do the live the same way he does it on OF because they don't have any rules against that. So if he wants to get on and, you know, do whatever he wants to do.
You
put the X in X-Men.
Wow.
Triple X-Men. Triple X-Men. That's a new... Darren, you have just created... Somebody's going to do an AI adult film with that title now.
Actually, it might be out there. Already exists, man. I guess.
Well, you know what? I was giving Darren credit. I'm going to
enjoy your weekend. I will. It's my birthday weekend. And I will see you guys on Monday.
So that should have been today. Let me see. I'm just curious if there's anything else posted on his Twitter because I bookmarked that on Saturday when I saw it. So let's go see if he posted anything on his Twitter. Is anybody here? Is anybody here? Because I want to get everybody's sort of just general idea on this. You don't have to go in big detail or whatever. But does anybody believe the stuff that he's being accused of? Like, does anybody honestly think that he was doing it, or is there still a little bit of skepticism?
I believe it to an extent in regards to I think something happened. It's whether it's being pushed to the extreme, like you see a lot of things happen. Like if like there was a hint of something, then it's the worst possible outcome. But like, who knows if it's exactly as bad? But I believe he definitely was something. I think he stepped the boundary, and I don't know necessarily if he did something where it deserves where his career is completely tarnished or not. Because it depends if there was any sort of physical advancements and stuff like that. I think that's where like it gets a bit #sus, and you don't really want that stuff going on. But if he just crossed the boundary and maybe didn't realize it, but if he kept on doing it to the same people, they're like, "Hey, man, I don't really want to be involved with that."
That's the thing is if you did something like that and someone says, "Hey, don't do that again," and you don't, then I feel like you. Well, first of all, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. But I feel like if they tell you 100%, like, don't do that again, and you continue to do it, that's when it becomes like harassment at that point.
Yeah.
3Dub, do you believe it? Not believe it?
He's making it like. He's making it sound like I think he did do it because the way he's acting like now it's like you're just proving them.
You think he's just like poking the bear at this point with all this? And
yeah.
Like, I kind of see what you're saying. Darren, anything?
What were the like allegations? Because like the last time I heard it was just like using OnlyFans at the workplace.
Okay, so very quickly, the main thing they said was that he was like the N. Snyder was the person that broke this or whatever, is that he had taken pictures of himself in like very sexual poses Not. I don't think they said he was naked.
No, I think he said he was like probably in his underwear or like
but he was doing poses. Yeah, he was doing poses and sending it to his people and saying, "This is what your character should look like, or you should do these kinds of things in the animation and everything." And a lot of people thought that was him doing something inappropriate, and we don't know because again, it's hearsay. We do know that Marvel
and all the stuff, if there was any evidence, will be kept for the court case because now it's going to trial.
And Marvel, supposedly based on the information they released, let him go because of stuff that happened that was investigated. So it sounds like those two things are probably connected to some way. So
Sure.
Zaya brings up a good question. Eric, do you believe in aliens?
Well, we'll talk. I'm going to bookmark that. We'll talk about that in a second. So, Dane, what are your thoughts on this Beau DeMaio? I know we've talked about it briefly on the Shellcast, but I didn't know what.
I mean, if from what I've seen, maybe I've missed something, but like from how it all played out, it seems like he honestly called way more attention onto, the negative shit than he needed to. Like even though he had been let go, basically a lot of people were kind of looking at him as fucking awesome. Even during the run of the show, right? Like, and he's like talking about it the whole time, and I was definitely looking at his tweets and like, oh, that's great, insider information. Thought it was pretty cool, and the whole time I was also hoping, oh man, I hope this guy didn't do something really shitty because you know what I mean. But then basically he seemed to just like want to push the issue out into the forefront, and Marvel responded, right?
Yeah,
like he was kind of just basically poking the bear, and they're like, hey man, this is we let you go because of this and this. Well, they didn't really say much, but then like things started kind of going around. And
Paige shared this. I'm curious to what this is supposed to be.
It's from 51st Dates.
This is what Beau DeMaio should have worn in that video.
Oh, okay.
He really wants to highlight his nipples.
Yeah,
this highlights the nipples.
So
at least there's a bit of modesty to it. And also, he's wearing a hat. Flip it around.
I'm going to order one of these in every color, and it's going to become my new defective.
Honestly, Eric, I think you'd be able to rock it. Especially you got the hat. I think you should get the necklace. I know what that is. It's just like
I'm gonna get the whole. This is gonna be my Halloween
totem.
costume. I'm gonna wear this for Halloween. Nice. So
complete with the compression shorts and the short shorts.
I'm sorry, man. I do have to go. Something has come up, and I gotta. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Thanks for dropping in.
We're doing the showcast tomorrow, though, just so everybody knows.
Yep.
See you then.
See you then.
See ya.
All right. So I will wear this for Halloween. 100%. I think I need to find the hardest thing to find is going to be the biker shorts underneath of it, like the spandex things, because that's a weird design. But the rest of it should be easy to find. So, all right, this one's kind of interesting. Prime Video, and I don't know if anybody's watched this. This is something we watched the season of or whatever. The Prime Video has halted the production on the final season of Good Omens. The decision comes 2 months after series creator and showrunner Neil Gaiman was accused of SA by several women. So how do we feel about shows losing, like, instead of finding a way to make it work with somebody else, like just halting production on the shows altogether? How do we feel about that with something like this?
Does Neil Gaiman have sure, is he the sole showrunner of Good Omens, or is he a co-showrunner?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let me check.
Because if there's a co-showrunner, then keep going. I mean, look, Andrew Kreisberg. Remember, he got the flick from the Flash and Supergirl and stuff, and it's the other showrunner stepped up. And took sole
it's
responsibility.
100% him. Not only is he the showrunner, but he's the writer and the producer. So,
okay, well that explains it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's I don't know. It depends how far is it into filming? Like,
let me
Holt's production. Obviously, it was being filmed already.
Let me check the article here. We'll read it out. Prime Video's halted production on the final season of Good Omens. The decision comes 2 months after series creator and showrunner Neil Gaiman was accused of SA. Accused, by the way, I don't think anything's been proven. It's just accusations at this point.
There was first thing, and then someone else. I think another woman came out. I think it was a different woman came out and with another incident.
Yeah, and I'm okay with being skeptical about it and watching your back on it, just like with the Beau DeMaio stuff, which obviously not SA, but still they're accusations. Yeah. The series, which stars Michael Sheen and David Tennant, is a BFF and blah blah blah. It doesn't say it doesn't say anything.
I mean,
about filming.
I think you know the like difference between something like this and then like the Supergirl situation, what several years back, is like I feel like the streaming world in terms of TV is so much different than it was for like the network TV, right? Where like network TV, it's like we need to get back to this. Like it like them hosting was like the end of the world for them.
Right.
Well, streaming, it's like, well, you can come back in 3 years, and that's kind of like the status quo.
Yeah, because they could they could put a pause on this for like a year and then go back and finish filming next year.
And it's what they did. Like the break in between season 1 and 2 was like 2.5 to 3 years. Like it was an insanely long break. So I feel like in this case, it's been like, all right, pause, sort this thing out. If you need to get rid of them or you need to like suspend them or whatever, maybe do that. Bring someone else and have a healthy environment. Like I'd rather you pause and take care of this than continue in a toxic work environment. So I'd say it's probably the right move for now. But yeah, I don't know.
All right, so anybody have any other thoughts on that? If not, I've got a video to share here.
Uh-oh.
All right, this is Paige's favorite part of the show, right here.
I have no idea what it's going to be. I'm concerned, though.
It is Ray Fisher updates.
Oh, fine. I knew it was. As soon as it was my favorite part, I was like, is it going to be what I think it is?
So we're going to play this. Yeah. We're gonna watch this quickly. It's only a 2-minute something video, but it's funny because some of the feedback is that he's having like amnesia about the other projects he's participated in, because there's one called Rebel Moon that he participated in. But anyway, let's hear what he has to say here.
Listen, if you indulge me for a moment, when I saw the film, I was very surprised by what you brought, because I said he lives in this very narrow lane that if you go half a hair to the right, he's essentially like Bubba Gump. But if you go half a hair
the film
to
they're
the
talking
left,
about, by the way, is The Piano Lesson.
Like underplaying and he's not getting it across. But you ride the line so brilliantly, and I told Malcolm at Telluride, I was like, who'd have thunk? Ray Fisher, man. And he was like, we knew. We all knew.
Oh.
And one of my colleagues described to me yesterday, he said, what a career resurgence, a career saving role. And
so I have a question. So it's The Piano Lesson. It's a movie that's probably going to have a niche audience, as far as I can tell. Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of movies have
it's on Netflix though, so it'll be broader than you'd expect. But I don't know, like,
well,
you never know.
Yes, in that sense. But I don't know if like these like movies like this are transcendent always. Sometimes they just kind of just ride the line. But Rebel Moon is also Netflix, and he was in that movie. So you're sitting here looking at somebody who's been on a couple of different Netflix things. And again, I don't wish any ill will towards Ray Fisher. If he can get his career back, more power to him. My thing is that the career issues that Ray Fisher had came from problems that he created. You guys remember how all this went down? Like when I say he created, in the sense that he kept saying that he had more information, he had more to reveal, and all of this, and then nothing ever came from that.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing back then. Like, I think even if you hooked him to a lie detector and stuff, he would admit, like, he probably didn't go about it the correct way. Though I don't think he didn't. He was 100% in the wrong. But
no,
he did
wasn't.
But he definitely went like. He just went about it the wrong way, like using social media and Twitter. It was such a I think it was obviously like an impulse thing. I know he said like he planned it. I don't think he necessarily planned how he wanted to execute it in regards to putting what he wanted to do or putting what he wanted to put out into the world. And Twitter was just the worst place to do it. Do an exclusive interview with Variety or Hollywood Reporter, they would have ate it up. But at the same time, like, I remember when people were saying like, oh, he's just killed his career and stuff. I'm like, no. Because you know how many people would have known about this? Like, less than 1% of moviegoers, let alone like people on the internet. Like,
my issue was that he might have like sullied himself for other filmmakers.
The biggest issue that he did is that he really didn't do anything. At the end of the day, Hamada's gotten a promotion. He's working a better job than he was working before with the Paramount stuff he's doing. Joss Whedon was already gone. Was already gone. Like, sure, he left the Nevers, but like that show was never getting renewed, and he wasn't going to get another show. Like, he was already on the outs with a lot of stuff. As I said, and I think you back me with this, he's 100% ghostwriting for other things in the background at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He definitely would be ghostwriting.
But
with Jeff Johns, who was like on the lower end of it, though he like Jeff Johns has his own comic company now. Like he's like elevated as well. So I think if he knew what the outcome was going to be, he probably wouldn't have done it because it didn't really do anything for the most part.
But that's my
at the
point,
same
KG.
time,
He
I don't
didn't
think
have
necessarily.
anything.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't necessarily think it damaged him that much. Like when people were saying his career's over, I was like, no, because he's a good actor. He's a good actor. So it's like if you're a good actor, you can. And he has. He went down. He started off from the bottom.
Yeah, I get that part. I think the role that he was in, specifically what he did with Cyborg, was amazing.
Well, that was under the presumption that Cyborg, if he like legitimately lost his chance with Cyborg, but you look at what DC is now, he would be recast.
Yes, most likely. So. But we're talking about like where he was when all of this happened. And my issue with this is he came out guns a-blazing, and his intention was to, as he said, hold people accountable for everything they did. However, he did not have enough on anybody to have anybody held accountable.
He 100% put it out there hoping someone would back him up. And unfortunately, if there was some other stuff to be said, no one backed him up. I know people say Momoa backed him up. Momoa didn't do shit. Like, really. He didn't do shit. And Gal Gadot only said, oh, yeah, this stuff happened because she was backed into a corner in an interview. And she sort of had to say, oh, yes. And even then, she sort of like just glazed over it. Like, unfortunately, no one backed him up if there was anything to back up.
But it's just like I said when we talked about this before with this whole thing, is that when he kept saying, like, I have more, then he'd go away for like 4 months, then he'd come back and bring it back up again. There's a certain amount of that you can do and try to get the right thing to happen. And then there's times where it's just like, it's not going to happen. Like, you have to just move on.
Yeah, and he should have stopped once that initial stuff was on. But then when he started to attack James Gunn and stuff, I think that's when he lost a lot of support. Because it's just like you're just pulling stuff out of your ass at that point. But as I said, when people were saying, oh, his career's over, him literally rebuilding, he did a play. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if it was on Broadway. I think it was on Broadway. It might have been off Broadway.
Yeah.
But this is the movie that's based off that play. So Denzel, Sam Washington, John David. I don't know if John David Washington was in the play, but this is the movie based off that play, and he's playing the exact same character he played in that Broadway thing. So if he didn't do that, he wouldn't have this, and he did that thing as a rebuilding thing. So if he stayed at Cyborg, he wouldn't be in this specific movie. But Cyborg would be dead as a character now because of the reboot.
Yeah,
so maybe things happen for a reason.
Maybe possibly, but I feel like he's had to rebuild a lot. Darren, do you have any thoughts on this? I feel like you want to chime in on this at all.
No, I
okay.
I've been really out of the loop in terms of like the DC, or I've been paying attention to the DC drama, but I feel like the Ray Fisher stuff, I'm like, all right, I'm way out of it.
Don't blame me. It's like
it was like a year and a half worth of this drama. I was like, I can't.
It's just funny. I feel like the question is geared toward like. This question they're asking him is definitely about what happened with all of that.
They were trying to get more stuff out of it, 100%. Right. But he was never going to talk about it in like a public setting, like with 6 other people around him.
Yeah. But let's see. I want to hear what he says here. Let's see what he says.
Half a hair to the right, he's essentially like Bubba Gum. But if you go half a hair to the left, he's like underplaying and he's not getting it across. But you ride the line so brilliantly, and I told Malcolm at Telluride, I was like, who'd have thunk Ray Fisher, man? And he was like, we all knew. And one of my colleagues described to me yesterday, he said, what? A career resurgence, a career saving role. And you've been through a lot.
Career saving.
Talk about taking on this role because you blew me away in a way I wasn't expecting.
Well, let's not discuss too much there, but that is not a great thing to say to somebody that you're sitting in front of for an interview. Career saving. Career saving. So they thought his career was over. This wasn't just us saying it. They thought it was.
I think they mean in regards to like anything of note. And like he could have easily had a life, had a career, gone on for the next 20, I think he's mid-30s, Ray Fisher, maybe late 30s now. He would have, gone on for the next 20 years, probably been able to easily live a life as an actor, but it's where everyone goes, oh, Ray Fisher. And it's like, who the fuck is that? Like, so now people might go, oh, Ray Fisher, the guy from that piano lesson movie that was good in it. Like, people might go off that. But then again, he's still going to have that thing where, and it did come out that, like, he was, like, he wasn't, like, and I think it was more because of the situation around Justice League, but he was a bit of an annoyance to work with. But I think it was more because of his allegiance and commitment. Allegiance and, like, I don't want to say dedication because it sounds like he's like attached to the knee or something, but dedication to Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
At that point. So it's like a specific thing. So I don't know. You have to wait and see because at these film festivals and stuff, they bloat and G up every movie. The movie can come out and just be fine, and his performance can be fine. But like every movie that's at these film festivals has an Oscar-worthy performance or something, or it's an Oscar contender. Yeah. And then you get to Oscars in February, March, or whenever it is, and none of the movies is there except for maybe like one for cinematography or some shit.
My wife too, but for different reasons. Yeah.
Wait, like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That white shirt was holding on.
Probably didn't want to stand next to you, man. Go ahead.
Hold on. Like,
well, thank you for the kind words. I do appreciate it. I think what really helped this entire process, I got to give it up to August Wilson, just like everybody else up here would, but also our creatives across the board. You know, Malcolm and I, we had many hours of conversation prior to us stepping onto the scene, and we got to really just dig in, talk about what everything meant, find the juxtapositions that existed within the piece, within the character. And I think there's a little bit of Lyman Jackson in all of us, right? There's an innocence about him in this piece that a lot of folks end up losing as time goes on, especially when you endure such hardship. And I think for me, it was a palate cleanser in a lot of ways because I've endured, you know, some specific hardships in my life growing up, also some career hardships, and you know, being able to come back into this space and say, you know what, I don't want to get hung up on this. I don't want to feel resentful for anything that's happened. I want to move on, and that's what Lyman represents.
So this is him saying, I'm done talking about that. You'll never get hashtag Ray Fisher updates about DC or Warner Brothers again for me, because that to me sounds like he understands what this movie means for his career based on what the reporter said to him. And so he's ready to move forward. But when he says palate cleanser, it's also funny because he was on Rebel Moon with Zack Snyder, and he doesn't even think about that when he's thinking about all this, which means, is he done with that too? Is he moving on from that as well? Like he's done with like Zack Snyder stuff, with superhero stuff. He wants to have a career doing acting, and he doesn't care much about the other stuff.
I don't know. It's probably but then again, I guess he was a minor thing in Rebel Moon, but at the same time, it's not like this is the only. It's like he was in like the depths of hell and couldn't be retrieved, and then given this role. Like,
yeah, but when you say palate cleanser and you just work with Zack Snyder, that feels really, really strange to me.
Yeah,
because that's supposed to be his friend.
And I think it's one of those things that it came right on time. It really did. And being with the people that I was with, being able to do this piece in the way that we did it, become a family in that way, it reinvigorated my love in a different way for what we did.
All right.
As a follow-up, I mean, do you see this as like putting the DC, all that stuff behind you now? You're ready.
Wow, that was straightforward.
What the fuck?
I could never be like a reporter because like
it's too awkward, it's too cringe.
Yeah, like I understand that.
Look at the people on the couch with them. Everybody sitting there is just like,
that guy next to him is like giving him the eye roll.
Everybody in that room is just not happy about this. Like,
at that point, just like
Darren's like, I wouldn't even ask that question if I was a reporter. Like,
I couldn't do that job. I'd be dying.
I think your mic's going in and out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
My bad.
Fine now.
It's fine now.
Sorry.
All right, let's see what he has to say in this, because this is what we waited for the whole video.
All that stuff behind you now. You're ready to just move forward. I mean, that's neither here nor there for me at this point. I'm just focused on working with the people I like to work with on work that is meaningful. It can be action, it can be
Good
August
answer.
Wilson, it could be anything in between, right? As long as the work is there and the people are great.
As long as I get fucking paid.
Yeah, I mean, I actually feel like the answer he gave is the best possible answer he could have given based on an awkward fucking question like that.
Yeah, that's John David Washington, but he's like rocking. He looks a bit different. I mean, it still looks like him, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, go ahead, 3Dub.
I get questions like that are like needed for like some fans, but at the same time, it's like hard to hear because you're kind of fed up with it.
It almost feels like wrong time, wrong place in my opinion. But you know, they got
it's not even about what you're talking about either.
It's not, except for the fact that he gave an answer. Now this is good for his image. So like I think moving forward, he's not going to be held to that anymore. He's given an answer. This clip will be shared around anytime people are like, well, what's he been up to? Well, he, you know.
Until he walks into a room while Hamada's standing there and punches him or something like that.
He's saying he's moving on, but if I hear another tweet about, I'm like, you're not really moving on.
Accountability.
Journalism is tough. Especially in this day and age where I feel like it's almost a dying craft.
Well, it's not that. It's a combination of it's like people aren't reading shit as much, but then social media clicks and rage bait and just all that stuff is, so you need that. It's like you're like at that. I don't know if that was that. I don't know if that was the Toronto Festival or something else. But if there's anyone like a Marvel thing, like for example, they had the Florence Pugh and what's his name, Andrew Garfield. That's it. Were there. I guess you could ask Florence Pugh about Thunderbolts, but even then, she said, they probably don't care too much about Thunderbolts, but they go, "Oh, Marvel this." And it's like, what the fuck is Andrew Garfield does? Not contracted to anything, But
and also,
I saw a headline that was MCU star Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. These two are so beyond just being an MCU star.
But that'll be their piece for the film. They'll be like, okay, this is my interview for the film. But then you can put the title as Andrew Garfield talks Spider-Man Return or some shit like that, rather than Andrew Garfield impresses in this new random movie.
Yeah. There was a rumor going around about Andrew Garfield being in Spider-Man 4. I'm like, he's not going to even confirm it. You're not going to get anything out of him. Even if he isn't or is, he's not going to say
it. Before we get to the next topic, I do want to address this question because I thought everybody could answer this and just have a bit of fun. Do we believe in aliens? So I think for me, the question would come down to what is considered an alien. Is it just a life form that exists somewhere else besides our own? So even if it's microscopic or an insect or something like that, I would still consider that to be alien. And I think it would be really crazy if there's not another planet somewhere in our universe that doesn't have some form of life on it, whether it be rudimentary or advanced. So I believe in aliens in that sense. Do I think aliens are coming down and butt probing people?
Oh.
I don't know. I don't really have an
answer
for that
The way I think about it is there's so many galaxies, right?
Yeah.
Not just the Milky Way. And in each of those galaxies, there's probably an Earth like ours that can sustain life.
Or something in the habitable zone. It doesn't
in the habitable zone, yeah. So I think there is other Earths in other galaxies that have life.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're just other humans. I just feel like it's other us on other life forms we haven't seen yet. Like you guys were saying, it'd be absurd out of the millions of other planets out there and all the galaxies that we're the only one with life form. No, that'd be ridiculous to me. I feel like they gotta be something out there. But also, they're not like little green men with they're gonna come and probe us. They're probably just humans or some kind of like water creature or something. I'd argue that the creatures that we see in the ocean, they're basically aliens. They're creatures from another world that we don't. Well,
they live
about.
in an environment that we can't live in, so technically they are.
They're aliens. I'd say.
So, Paigey, any thoughts on butt probing aliens?
I mean, I find it human evolution and stuff like that. Who knows how something evolves, whether it's on Mars, whether it's on Jupiter, or Saturn, or Uranus, wherever it is, wherever they evolve. You look at the human evolution, where we're led to believe that it started with like a tadpole essentially, and then it went to land, and then that stuff. I mean, who knows where it changes once you go to a different, whether it's a different galaxy or a different whatever. Who knows how it changes? And humans could have easily stopped evolving, 3 steps back.
Yeah.
Obviously Eric stopped there, but the rest of us, we kept going. But I don't know. You never know what when another Earth is. They could be blue fish people or something, and they live underwater, or they could be, they could be more ape-like and they can swim through trees or something like that. Or they're more They're built for that. You never
There
know.
could actually be Kryptonians who actually live like humans.
Yeah, I mean there could be. It's endless possibilities. I think it would be the rarity we would see is probably looking like us. Like I think that looking exactly like us is probably not going to be the case. They might resemble us.
Do I want to
like
speak
us,
the
but
elephant in the room?
What's that?
Eric, Darren, and 3W look the exact same.
What?
Well, you're using a picture of me as your avatar, so.
Well, I had to. I had to fit in, didn't I? I had to fit in.
So we talked a little bit about this the other day, but I want to just kind of revisit it because we just had started talking about it a little bit. First of all, I want to say that the Minecraft recreation in Minecraft from the movie trailer was amazing, but I know it would get flagged, so we're not going to play it here. But I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, that's really, really good. But I'm still seeing a lot of backlash to Minecraft, which is confusing to me. This one particular tweet baffled me. Which, by the way, I want to reiterate, likes and dislikes on videos don't mean anything. Stop paying attention to them. They don't matter. It's for engagement. Of course, as a creator, I would love for you to like my video, but if you choose to dislike it, there's nothing that I can do about that. It's there for you to do it. But engagement is engagement. The issue is that when you're talking about places like Twitter and YouTube and places like that, it is an unregulated system. You can create as many accounts as you want and just like and dislike stuff as much as
I
you
will
want.
say there is a point. There's like a limit. Basically, I did that for just to test because I heard that
you downvoted something.
No, I upvoted with a bunch of accounts, and all my accounts were like taken down by Twitter, saying you're not a real person.
Oh, on Twitter, yeah.
Oh no, YouTube. Sorry, YouTube.
Well,
and they were like,
the people that do it professionally have bot accounts, like if you're talking like overseas and stuff. They will make bot farms, and that's how people get fake subscribers and fake likes. So it does happen. Even if your account gets removed, you can still do it.
But the funny thing is, after they permanently deleted my accounts, they brought them back because they found out that I'm actually a real person.
Yeah. But my point is that it's a vastly unregulated system because, like you said, sometimes you might get in trouble for it, sometimes you don't. You can just make account after account after account, and sometimes they'll hit it, sometimes they won't. The point is, it is unregulated. It doesn't mean anything. So when this person goes 588,000 dislikes, when will Hollywood learn, and shows a picture here from the Minecraft movie, obviously of a black woman, and what does that mean? What does that say? That is literally a racist dog whistle, and it's not even really a dog whistle. It's almost just obvious, even if you're looking at it from the outside. Yeah. So my issue is, this is the kind of stuff when people get on YouTube and they're like, I don't want people being racist on YouTube. I don't want to be racist on social media. This is the kind of stuff they're talking about because this doesn't add any value to the conversation. Because what conversation are we fucking having at this point? And that's why it's like so frustrating, because Minecraft doesn't have any real lore when it comes to real world people. Yeah. Like there's no lore behind that. So it's this never ending cycle of bullshit. This is another one of those. Like, you're not arguing about whether or not, like when we, just a minute ago, when I talked about the Minecraft trailer recreated in Minecraft, I love that. I thought it looked really, really good. But I wouldn't go in there and be like, oh, I don't like this movie because a black woman is in it. Or I don't like this movie because there's a fat person in it. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense.
And this is what they were literally arguing for. For how many years? I don't agree with this argument, but like the argument is like, why don't you make original black characters? That's what this is. They cast Jack Black as Steve, which is, a character from the game. She is a completely original character. They made her up for the movie. That's what you were asking them to do. Which proves their hypocrisy. We're like, you can't please them. No matter what they do, you're going to...
The people that complain about this stuff don't want answers. They just want problems. And that's it. They want to create problems, and their solution is remove anybody but white men from everything. And then that's the solution. Because when will Hollywood learn? What does that question mean?
I think this person is getting paid to be negative.
No, absolutely. 3-Dub. There's a blue check mark next to
I was gonna say there's a blue check mark.
But that's the thing. That's the thing is people do these screenshots or whatever, they pull them up, and that I will look at them then. But I have learned and trained myself to not Like, Paige, we talked about this. I actually told Paige I'm going to stop retweeting and engaging with stuff on Twitter. Like, I'm only going to use it to bookmark stuff, simply because Twitter has become hot take world. Like, it's literally like I'm going to get a blue check mark and I'm going to say every awful hot take I can possibly say in hopes that Twitter will pick it up, it'll run with it, and I'll make money off of it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
I'll like say that I have a blue check mark, but I don't get paid. So I only got the blue check mark so I can go live with X.
Not everyone with a blue check mark is doing that, but everyone that's doing that does have a blue check mark. That's what I'm saying. Like, if people are saying racist stuff on Twitter, they'll have a blue check mark because they want to make money off of it. So, all right. So, Paige, you shared something here. I don't even know what this is.
Uh-oh.
Oh, like life evolving from single cell to humans or whatever. Are you saying that aliens would be like an offshoot of this, that they would evolve?
Well, imagine if like the reptile stage, and then they could be little green men. Like, it just sort of shifted from there.
Yeah.
What would you want to be if you weren't Homo sapien? Fuck being Homo erectus. You look too cooked. What would you want to? I think unicellular. I think it's a bit too funky. I wouldn't mind being amphibia.
That was going to be mine, because I would love the ability to like breathe in air and swim in the water.
That looks somewhat interesting.
Think about that. You go to like a beach day and you can just dive in the water and fucking swim anywhere you want to swim.
You know what that made me think of? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the dolphins just go up and it's like, thanks for all the fish.
Yeah, so long. Thanks for all the fish. Yeah. I would say amphibian to reptile in that space would be okay for me. I don't want to be I don't want to be any singular cell or unicellular creature. And fish are the opposite end of us. They're locked in their environment.
Yeah,
whereas some reptiles can go swimming and swim for long periods of time before they have to come up. So I'd be totally cool with that.
Well, hold on, just quickly, what the fuck is this thing?
That's the missing link, I believe. That is the how we.
That looks like is it Ryan Cannell? He sort of looks. I'm seeing some similarities here.
Oh my god!
Wait, is this heels versus babyface?
That is 100%. Well, I mean, he's actually got a show where his mascot is a gorilla, so
maybe that fits. P. Robustus. That sounds like a pretty cool name. Peter, like, what's your first name?
Penis.
These sound like literal like code names.
The first name is Penis. Penis Robustus. That is the full name. So.
God, you wouldn't want to be a hey Erectus. That sounds like you bullied the hell in school. Hey, I reckon. And
that actually looks a lot like Paigey. The same.
What Homo sapien? Yeah, look like sexy Jesus. Like
sexy Jesus is always the best image to go for.
Yeah, Homo sapiens. Let's go.
All right, I think we had a super chat over here from Radical Z, a $5 super chat all the way from Canada. And it says, Creature Commandos December 5th, therefore the DCU starts that day and the next year with Superman. Anyone excited for Commandos? Love your videos. Thank you so much, Radical Z. We talked a little bit about Creature. I don't know if it was last week or the week before that. We talked a little bit about it. I think it's a weird place to start off the DCU, to be quite honest. But I'm not opposed to the cartoon. I am excited to see what the cartoon's going to be. But I think it is a weird place to put that in the lineup. But I'm ready for Superman. Like, I want to see Superman. I want to see what this vision is. Even when something looks wonky to me, unless it's completely awful and I just cannot stand it, I'm going to go support it and give it a shot. So,
I mean, Guns basically said Superman is where it actually really starts, but DCU starts with Creature Commandos. But I'm not excited for Creature Commandos. I'm more excited for Superman.
Okay.
Here's my issue with it starting is, like, obviously for us as casual people, it's fine, right? It's obviously like, he said it's like an appetizer for the actual DCU. I think that's a great idea. Like, in concept, that's great. But like when your friend Jimmy comes around and be like, okay, I want to start this new DC universe. Where do I start? And you're like, well, it's Creature Commandos. It's like, what is that? And I also the fact that it's going to be like this rated R-esque project is like not a great jumping on point for people. Like, obviously once you kind of get into it a little bit, like, I think Swamp Thing totally fine that being like a rated R thing, I think the first project should be like E for everyone, if you will. Like I feel like everyone should be able to jump in at their leisure, which I think Superman would have been a perfect like first project because everyone that seems like a movie for everybody.
I do wonder if they were like, we have to have this show before we do Peacemaker, and maybe they don't think this would be the best follow-on from Superman. So it's better to have it out there. If people want to watch it, they can, but at the end of the day, it's not overly important. But then you can jump into Superman. And I assume when you see Rick Flag Sr. and Superman, there's probably not too many callbacks to Creature Commandos. Just like, oh, that's the guy that was in Creature Commandos, and you understand his position. But the movie's not reliant on you understanding his position. Just that the fact, oh, he's this government attached dude, or this, whatever it might be.
I really hope they have it like where the animation and the games have a shut-in story, meaning like it's just within the game, and they will appear in live action that is basically untied to the game, but at the same time tied to it.
Yeah,
like it's the same actor and same.
I'll tell you what I'm interested in with Weasel. Did I mention that him going to the Suicide Squad? Because one of the end credit scenes is him still swimming about. Oh no, him getting onto the island or whatever.
At the end of it, yes.
So I wonder if they mentioned that. Oh, we found him on Was it Cordo Maltese? It was Cordo Maltese in the movie, wasn't it? Yeah. So I wonder if they mentioned that.
Well, that was from the DCEU, so...
Yeah, he's wondering how they're going to do that.
That's what I mean. Is that their way to connect that the Suicide Squad is canon, which means that Rick Flag Jr. is still dead in this universe?
They most might do is connect Wise as Flag Senior mentioning something from CC. Yeah.
I honestly think they should have done like a earth-shattering change timeline movie to where it kind of like transitions to the new actor.
That's what the Flash did, pretending.
Yeah, but it was out of like order because you had like the Flash, then you had Blue Beetle, and then Aquaman, and it didn't make sense. It should have been the last movie.
All right, so we had another. Quindlin said here, "What's after Superman?" And I just did a quick check.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, Peacemaker, and then I think Supergirl is the next one.
That's the following.
Well, I think their plan is, but there's I think they said that potentially Waller could. It probably depends how things go, because. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because because Supergirl is not until July, so you would think there's something in that first quarter of the year, probably some kind of TV show.
Supergirl would be the next movie.
Supergirl's, yeah.
And after that, who knows? Flip of the coin.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be Superman and then the Authorities, but I'm thinking Authority was probably pushed back a couple films.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious why they pushed back the Authority.
Yeah, they should. It shouldn't be the second movie. I think that was a weird decision.
But I think Gunn knows he's the only one that probably wants to direct the Authority.
Yeah. Matt says, I agree. I don't see the DCU being successful. Does anybody else feel that way? They don't see it being successful?
I don't think it's going to be successful out of the gate. I think the thing you'd want is that Superman just goes okay. I don't think it's good. I'd be surprised if it hit a billion. It could easily, because that's just all about momentum and word of mouth and stuff like that. But as long as Superman has a better start than Man of Steel, which is pretty much hit 700, I think that's fine.
I think that, like, for instance, how I like the DCEU, like how it started was, I think Man of Steel had like 700 million, but people saw it at home and liked it, and went back for like Batman v Superman and stuff like that. I think that's going to happen with like the new franchise, the DCU.
People are going to watch it at home and then go back and watch the next thing.
I think like Superman's going to like suffer the start, but at the same time, it's going to like a sequel is going to like be higher.
Well, I have to say this: it has to be financially successful, or it will not continue.
Yeah,
I think it's going to make like 700 million because there's a lot of Superman fans. So,
I don't know. Like, I feel like just the lineup that they had is some things I think are going to be hard for them to fail. Like, I think Superman's a really down the middle. Like, it could either do really bad or really good. But like Brave and the Bold, I think like regardless is going to do well. I think Supergirl, depending on when they put it out.
The biggest thing going against Superman, at least in regards to like someone just looking at a poster and going, "Oh," is the fact that probably to pretty much most of the general public, no one is recognizable. So you don't look at it and go, "Oh, that person." So at least Man of Steel had like Russell Crowe, Kevin Costner. I think Amy Adams at that point was somewhat established.
And they're going with fresh faces as their two leads for the movie, basically.
Yeah, and the biggest person in the movie is arguably Nicholas Hoult, who isn't this draw really. So that's the only concern. But that might be the plan for Gunn. It's like we don't want to rely on names essentially, and that's even look at like Millie Alcock being cast. Like, sure, she was in House of the Dragon for half a season.
Yeah, the
first half of the season. So like, sure, she was in the biggest show in the world at the time, but for a small amount of time, and she's going to look different in the movie as well. So that makes me very curious about who they're going to cast as Batman, because Batman, even Robert Pattinson, people still know who Robert Pattinson is. He might not have been the biggest actor, but he was still known. And I keep seeing people fan cast people I've never fucking heard of.
I think
as Batman.
I think for like Batman and Superman, there's so much like history and people that grew up with the comics will almost always go for a Batman or Superman film.
I don't know. Like I definitely get your point about like bringing people in seats, but I also I would like the trio to be all kind of smaller faces, because I want them to appear in everything. Like I want them to be able to appear in every, whatever.
And bigger actors can't do that.
Yeah. So like if you cast, this is what happened. If you cast like Tom Cruise, he's not going to be appearing in all the video games and all the movies and all that stuff. So like
unless he makes it and directs it and acts it. Mission Impossible.
Before we move on, I do want to highlight this comment, and then we have another super chat. But it says the only thing that might hurt the Brave and the Bold is also having the Batman show coming out.
Brave and the Bold won't be out till 27 at the earliest.
It's so Batman though. Like people are gonna watch I don't know. I feel like Batman's almost like
especially if you can see it's tonally and distinctly. That's why with Brave and the Bold, you got to go full on stupid comic book style. Like, you don't have to be stupid where it's.
I really want it to be wacky and fun. That's what I'm hoping.
Like have him have all these different bat gadgets, like not obviously shark repellent and shit, but like like fun stuff. Like he actually uses like a fun, like make it like the Arkham games essentially, but maybe a tiny bit like not as like.
I mean,
dark, I was thinking like
dreary.
It would be like George Lopez, who said he's a fascist.
Yeah, that'll go over really well. We have a member chat that just popped up here from Troy. Thank you so much for being a member. The member chat says, agree Superman is the most important to get right, but maybe the hardest nowadays, in my opinion. No weakness is just flaws. Spark needs patience to develop. We've talked about this a little bit, Paigey, and I know you've talked about like how Superman has iconic stories that do work. They just haven't really done those in the films stuff. It's kind of where it's at with Superman. Like he's not the hardest character in your opinion, I think is what you said to write.
Superman's not a hard character to portray. It's just that he's a hard character to sell, I think, to
modern,
in regards to come watch this Superman movie, because everyone's like, well, Superman's OP, which he is OP, but that's why you create some more personal stuff with him, and I think that's where Gunn's leaning. I don't like the fact that you're having all these other characters in. I'm not the biggest fan of them being Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and all that. But then again, they could be in 10 minutes of the movie, and the rest is Superman. We've only seen outdoor stuff where it looks like it's one sequence with those characters. But I assume they're probably going to be in more. But at the same time, they could be in not as much as people expect. And then the rest is very Superman-centric with like the Lex Luthor angle and like the engineer and those characters and stuff like that. The one thing I did read, which I'm like, how the fuck is that going to be put into the movie? I feel like it might be a fight scene. But I heard that Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba is in the movie, which I think is hilarious. But I don't know where the context of that song would be. I assume
he gets knocked down and then he gets up again. So,
but I don't like songs being too literal, where it's like he gets punched. It's like I get knocked down, then you see him getting up again. It says I get up again. I don't like. When
I don't think he's gonna have a whiskey drink and a lager drink. I don't think those two.
Well, it might be in a bar. Maybe it's in a bar.
So what I like about this Superman film is it seems like it's going to be different than the previous Superman films.
100%. Yeah.
And also there is similarities to previous films, like Lex being the like a villain. So I think the popular like three villains that Superman always goes against is like Lex, Zod, and Doomsday. I think it's...
I would say Brainiac too.
Brainiac too. It's nice to see that he's not fighting those at the start.
But that could
Well,
also
what?
be an issue, though. That could be an issue, though. People might not resonate towards the villains if they don't recognize any of them. Or anything
Yeah,
like that.
but I
it's
also,
a roll of the dice.
Yeah, it's a roll of the dice, but I think like if you do the same villain over and over again, you know what to expect.
Well, are we still in the area where if Fantastic Four meets its release date and Jurassic World's there, that Superman is cooked? Are we still there?
I mean, I feel like it is. I'll be honest. Not cooked in the sense that it's going to flop completely, but I think it will affect its sales.
It'll like cripple a little bit. Yeah.
I gotta see that budget. Like if it's like it's not fun to me, but if it's
Someone's-
like 100 million, then we're good. But
There was
like
people trying to push it at like a 200 to 250. I'm like, bullshit. There's no way. It's probably got 150. I'd say probably bought it
If
around
it's
150, which
150,
is
I think
fine
we're-
because that means you have to make 400 to get into profit. I think.
I think
Also,
you
was
just-
50.
Yeah, go ahead. Derek. No, go ahead. You go.
No, I was just gonna say I think you just push it up a month. I think push it up to June, and then your biggest
it's
like
gotta be done,
competition is like How to Train Your Dragon, which
Yeah,
is
and
still
So
a
you've
big
already you've already looked at it. I was going to look it up to see what comes out.
Yeah,
in June.
You can-
it's like Ballerina. I think also comes out in June, but
Yeah,
that's,
okay.
yeah, it's not gonna. How to Train
But
Your
it'll
Dragon
be,
is your biggest.
and that's the thing. It'll be done by that point. Like Fantastic Four's just started filming and it's meant to be released then, which I think Fantastic Four can meet that release date as well. There's more than enough time for them to release that to get to that date. But Superman finished a while ago. Gunn's a month into post production with that, if not more. Like they're going to be done. And he said there's not going to be reshoots. Obviously, he'd be knocking on wood because all of a sudden there might be some file that's screwed up. But like at the moment, there's no reshoots. They can have that movie done by April in the edit, and James going to kick his feet back and go, "We're done," and then maybe they could go, "Well, hold on, this is done. We're all sweet. Can we go here? Like we're 2 months out, 3 months out from June. Can we move there?" But once again, I think if Fantastic Four doesn't come out, you'd actually probably move back a week. You'd probably delay it a week to go to where Fantastic Four would be coming.
Nobody wants to go against dinosaurs. I can tell you that right now. It's just not-
And they're only a week after dinosaurs at this point, which is too close. T-Rexes might have little arms, but they got big legs.
So here's my question, just like hypothetically, if they put this out in May, let's just say they picked May as their new date, what do you think would do better, Superman or Thunderbolts?
Superman.
Superman.
I'll tell you what would be interesting though, because that has a Superman copy in it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. 100%.
I just think like Thunderbolt, the only way I think they would even somewhat do well was because they do already have that like established names. Like people are like, all right, I know Bucky, I know Yelena. Like it has the MCU brand already attached to it versus like the DCU, where it's like, well, I'm not so sure yet. But also, Superman's a much bigger name than Thunderbolts. Like it's just
3Dub,
plain and simple.
what were you going to say?
I was going to say like Iron Man had a 140 million budget, and
Iron Man 1?
Yeah, Iron Man 1, yeah. And I think they can do basically the same thing to where
Absolutely. I think look, we were talking about when Troy's comment about Superman getting right or whatever. We already have one that I think is right, which is Superman and Lois. I feel like they nailed Superman in that show, in that age of like that era of Superman being a husband, being a father, living in Smallville. I feel like they nailed that. So you can do it. It is possible. And I think looking back at Superman and Lois, I mean, because a lot of people didn't want to believe that it was going to be so good. I think looking back at it, like if people wait till it's over with and they go back and they watch the whole show from beginning to end, they're going to be very surprised at how well Superman was portrayed in that series.
I will say this, like Superman and Lois, the effects are and the shots that they use to embody the Supermanness of like his powers and stuff are better than Smallville. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I'll give him like huge
the
credit.
shows are almost 20 years apart.
The action shots, the action shots of like how Superman fights and Superman and Lois is like they you can tell there's so much love in it.
Yeah, 100%.
I have to ask this, Eric.
Yeah.
And 3Dub and Darren can chime in. If you had to pick one thing from what you've seen so far from Superman, whether it's being talked about or the set photos and stuff that makes you go, a bit worried. One thing. Is there anything that
I've already talked about it. The stuff with Green Lantern and Hawkgirl, like the whole.
I mentioned that, and then you backed up on it.
No, I 100% said that when it was coming out.
So
I
you
said
agree? So you're online with like not liking it to have like a bit of a group feel to it.
I'm not a like doomsday naysayer type. And when I say doomsday, I mean like in the sense that it's going to flop or whatever.
Like this is
I'm not going to
handle
say
well.
that and put my finger on the stamp for that yet. But I will say that is the one area of concern for me is that whole like Maxwell Lord Green Lantern, Hawk Girl type situation.
You wonder what scene that I'm not too keen to watching is actually him handcuffed. I just
With
tired
the
of that.
Ultraman or whatever and everything.
But that happens in Man of Steel, and don't both
I'm
of you like?
I just don't like it. I'm like he can literally like those handcuffs don't he breaks them. But also I'm like I hate when the humans go against him. So I just
I've like most of what I've seen. I'm like, yeah, this looks something I'd be up. I'm open to. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I think if this movie does have critiques from me, I think there's a chance of bloatage. Like it seems like there's a lot going on in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters. There's things going on. There is a fear from me that there isn't going to be as much of a focus on Superman as maybe I want to. But to play the like devil's advocate, I do like what James kind of said. This idea of like, well, he has his Daily Planet life, he has a Superman life, and the movie's about him trying to balance those two and those two separate lives. So maybe that's the point. Like that might be the entire point of the movie is how does he balance these two lives? How does he?
Quinlan agrees with you.
You're meant to be like Superman, essentially, where you're feeling the frenetic thing of like, and then like almost the whiplash of like you have to snap into Clark Kent mode and stuff, and it can feel a bit
I think
crazy.
there's a like right way to do cameos and there's a wrong way to do cameos. For me, like the right way is like how it's paced to where it seems like they're like naturally there and not forced. Like
I will say, I don't think Superman needs cameos. That's the thing. I don't think a Superman movie needs cameos.
I don't think
the one thing I'm extremely
right.
Like,
that's true, Darren. They're actual characters. In the movie.
No hate on the comments, but like
they're
characters in the movie.
Like
the one
potential cameo in this movie would be like Amanda Waller appearing like one thing.
Or like
that's
a
the only
Batman
character I can think
well,
of.
for me, the cameo that I'm extremely like now I'm kind of liking is actually Christopher Reeve's son.
Oh, that is a cameo. Yeah,
that
100%.
is a cameo. Yes.
I actually like that. There's also like you can't like basically there's cameos and then there's story cameos. Like they're like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Well, it's like when people are saying that
cameos.
we're going to get like a Doctor Doom cameo as an after credit scene. That's not a cameo. Like it's
on the credit scene.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Any other thoughts before we move on? Oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's just very clear to me. Like they're clearly trying to get ahead of the game in like establishing their DC universe from the get-go. They're like, all right, we're 20 years behind the MCU. Obviously, we're trying to do our own thing, obviously, but also like superhero fatigue is so, not saying it's a thing or it's not a thing, but like
they're worried about that. Even if it's not a thing, they're worried about it. Yeah. Yeah,
that's a thing when you're starting, not when you're in the middle. They're starting. So they're trying to get ahead of the game. They're trying to introduce some of these characters in a way that makes sense. We just got to see how they go about it. We just got to see, like, this isn't the first time we've seen stuff like this. Look back at The Flash. Like, Green Arrow appeared in the first episode of The Flash, and we love that. Like, it can be done well. We just got to see how they do it.
I think that like the Green Lantern and all these are like recurring characters in a TV show, but in the format of a movie.
Yeah. That makes
like
sense.
They're not like huge characters, but they have a story. They have a reason to be there.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on from that. We do have a super chat from Naruto. I didn't forget Naruto. I was just waiting for that discussion to end. $5 super chat from Naruto here. It says, I watched Chaos over the weekend. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's Jeff Goldblum on Netflix.
That's good.
I would have pictured Jeff Goldblum as Zeus before this fantastic series. So we literally just finished it tonight. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but we finished it tonight. We didn't expect to binge the whole thing, but after the second episode, we were so hooked. We like every day we watched like 2 or 3 episodes. It's a really, really good show, and it ends in a way that there is a possibility for another season. With the amount of people that are in this, it's a lot of celebrities and stars, and I don't want to spoil any people that haven't seen it or whatever. There's a lot of stuff in the show. I think it's really, really good. It's basically like the idea of this mythology, but made into a present world. And I'm not talking about like updated. It's literally like if this were happening in our world right now. And that's what makes it really cool. Jeff Goldblum is always good. He's never like bombed a role for me ever that I can think of. I thought he was really good. Has anybody else seen the show or even watched an episode of it yet?
No, I did the add it to my list thing. But the only thing I've watched, I'm obviously watching Lord of the Rings, but only thing I started to watch and I turned it off after like 3 episodes. I'm like, This was so
What?
fucking stupid. The Sausage Party Foodtopia.
We watched
series.
one. We watched one. And look, I actually liked that movie. I thought the movie was
I think the
stupidly funny
movie's
or
like
whatever.
somewhat funny in regards to like the creativity of it and just the idea of it. Obviously, it gets a bit vulgar, but like mainly towards the end. But
the cartoon is so dumb.
Yeah, the
It's
cartoon
so
is
dumb.
like, I think you have to be high, like cautiously high to enjoy it.
Everything that you love about the movie is absent in that cartoon. It's obviously a money grab.
Wasn't there a movie that you I remember from the Twitch stream that you kind of forced Paigey to watch? I'm not
what?
Like he was supposed to watch it within a week, and
That was Catwoman.
It was Catwoman. That's
Catwoman.
We ended that because of Catwoman. We stopped doing it because of Catwoman because he didn't want to watch Catwoman.
Yeah, ruined it.
Wow.
All right,
I don't
we got a
blame
couple-
Paigey though.
We got a couple trailers to watch before we wrap everything up. This is the first one here, which is the trailer for the Bloomhouse Wolfman. Remember we saw that picture of the Wolfman performing or whatever. There's a trailer here. I haven't watched the trailer yet. There's actually two trailers that we're watching today that I have not watched. I haven't seen this one. This is more of a teaser trailer than anything, so I don't know how much we're going to see of the Wolfman. But I bookmarked it, so let's give it a watch and see what we think about this, because this is one of those ones where I'm not totally sure how I feel about it. So let's go.
You found those.
From the director of The Invisible Man. You remember that movie? And it didn't do well at all. Yeah,
I can't take praying mantises. Like if they,
really?
Mate, they're fucked. They are cooked as creatures. Like, I
have a story then.
Go ahead, tell your story.
We had the egg sacs. We like ordered the egg sacs, and we had like hundreds of them. They were in their little container. We had hundreds of them, and they all ate each other. And
that's what I was going to say. They are cannibalistic. They eat each other. Like the females eat the males, and the females will eat the other females and stuff like that if needed. But I know, like after they reproduce and stuff, it's like, hasta la vista, male. I'm gonna eat you. You're like
at a point there was only one left. We had that thing for a while, and it was.
But it was the one remaining one after all that.
Mate, why there isn't some, like we see like Piranha 3D and Jaws and
why is there no praying mantis?
You want a scary thing? Make a not even a big praying mantis. A praying mantis the size of a dog or something would be crazy enough.
That would be terrifying. Terrifying, one the size of a dog.
I don't
like honestly the ones that are like this big that you see in the jungles and stuff, like the really big like ones that look plants and things like that. I just have nightmares about like walking into the jungle and one of those things like chopping your finger off or something like that. It's just not good. Anyway, I don't know why that was the beginning of a Wolfman trailer.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. What are your thoughts on this?
Why so serious?
I don't even know what that was, but it sounded awful. Anyway, let's continue. The black. Oh, really? Is that what it's going to do? 3-dub? Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that's what it was going to do, but let's.
They didn't even show the dude.
No, they didn't even show it. Well, because they had that awful version of it.
Show us a good version of the movie then.
I know. So this trailer didn't do anything. First of all, I hated the beginning. The stupid praying mantis thing didn't have a lot to do with the rest of the trailer, I guess.
It's like
that wasn't a wolf or a man.
Then there were scratches on the screen that you had to look at through the whole fucking trailer. Like this looks creatively stupid to me. Like I don't know, maybe it'll be great. Is anybody ready? January 17th, Wolfman coming to theaters. Anybody excited for this one or no? I'm curious.
I would have to be high, drunk, and everything in between to see this.
I mean, it might be good. January, little concerning because that's kind of your like drop off thing where it's just like, put it out in January, whatever.
And the fun fact, I don't drink or smoke, so I'm never seeing it.
So the next thing I want to share is a trailer for a show called what is it called here? So first time I'm hearing it. No, maybe the second time I'm hearing this. Called The Franchise. Have you guys heard about this?
I saw like when I was scrolling on Twitter this morning when Twitter like auto plays, not porn this time, but this. And I saw like The Suit or something, and then I just kept scrolling.
So basically, this is supposedly and again, I haven't watched this, but supposedly this is a play on the idea of a studio making superhero movies.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what it's about.
So it's like the Wonder Woman TV show? Or
do you think
movie?
It's an HBO show. It's Warner Brothers. Is there a Ray Fisher reference?
Oh my god! Please.
It reminded me. I don't know if anybody watched it, but Barry would do this kind of show a lot, where they.
Well,
would,
did you
like,
watch
make...
the Godfather one on Paramount Plus, the one with Miles Teller?
Who, me?
Well, any of you?
No.
No, I just. No, Sanchez, I wasn't sure.
That's similar. So that show was about like the producer for The Godfather and getting it on screen and stuff like that, and getting that movie made.
Oh,
so this is sort of like that, but I guess fictional because it's just a random superhero movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what's funny, Serenity? I literally thought you said I skip all Harry Potter films. I was like, what the?
So you still could if you haven't seen them already.
But
okay.
she says, no, never mind.
Yeah, well, let's see if this is funny. The trailer is lame, so some people have seen it already. Darren, did you see this one already? Okay, they're saying it's lame. So let's see if this. So I'm going to say before we go into this, it reminds me of that whole Powerless thing where they tried to make a joke of like superheroes and stuff, and it didn't land. The only time this seems to work is with The Boys, because The Boys kind of has a play on corporate superheroes, but they're actually superheroes. So I think that's what makes a difference. Anyway, let's see.
Baron Zemo?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
All right, how are we feeling so far? We're a little over halfway through the teaser.
It looks like they're trying to give it like Succession sort of vibes to it, especially with the music. I mean, I usually don't really like to base a TV series off a trailer because there's
so much to watch. So many hours of footage. Yeah.
I think it depends. Like, is it meant to be like just a flat out comedy, or is it more like a satirical comedy? Like,
I don't know, but Anthony says the show was literally made from Film Twitter, who criticizes from Film Twitter, who criticize everything. So is it going to be one of those things where it's mocking the making of superhero movies to the point where fans of superhero stuff they're not going to like it? Is that what we're?
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this too. It could go either way for sure. And like, I don't know, like when this was announced, it definitely reminded me. Again, I started saying this prior, but like Barry did this same exact thing. That was also HBO, but there was a whole plot line in that third season about them making like a superhero movie, and it was just like the stupidity of the industry and kind of
because that's why it's called movie magic, because the actual final product is where it all comes together. The process of making it looks really awkward because people can't fly, which is why The Boys makes it better, because they all have superpowers and they can.
I don't think it'll be like a full on mockery just because it's HBO, so it's a Warner Brothers thing. I think they're clearly using the Leavesden Studios in England, so that's a Warner Brothers studio. I don't think
Green Lantern the following year.
Yeah, I don't, and I think Supergirl's filming there as well.
Okay.
I think they're planning to film Supergirl there, so I don't think that would make it a complete mockery. So I think they may be using that as a bit of bait to get people into the show, and there's probably a better message behind it, or at least what they're aiming in regards to like the tone of it and what you leave the show thinking.
What's funny, they actually did something similar, and I know I'm like. Basically, I'm still a Smallville fan, so...
I was going to say he's going to recommend
Season 7, Episode 5, Action, they actually did a Superman film while... not Superman film, but... Superhero film while Superman's there at his farm. Basically, they were filming on his farm, and a car wrecked, and he went, did all the Superman stuff, like that. I just thought it was funny.
So let's see whether it's just like self-deprecate if they're trying to like make it for people that want to watch it. How many times I've heard, basement dwelling, like drooling, caveman, idiots, soy boy, every word you could possibly imagine. Oh yeah, let me jump in and support this because that's definitely the vibe that I want to have in my life. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, the humor is subjective, by the way.
Look, I think I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I'm not too sure what the behind, but it wouldn't surprise me too much if someone that's a showrunner, producer, literally started off their career as a runner or something on one of these shows, maybe the position that this guy's playing, and they're literally just bringing real life things, both the positives and
absolutely.
negative side.
I wouldn't be surprised about
so
that.
I think I expect it to be pretty true to whatever happens, but this could be the exact same on a war movie or a movie about like a rom-com or something filming in New York. It could be the exact same type of thing.
It's just, but my issue is, like, it's a joke I've heard so many times, it doesn't even get a giggle out of me because let's make fun of the people who are making and liking superhero content. Let's like.
But I think that's the draw card.
feels-
Honestly, I think this is like that's the draw card. It's like, well, what if this was about a play on like a Game of Thrones show? Like, this is probably the easiest like setting, and it's probably the best way to sell it as well, in regards to like potential viewers and stuff. So I understand why they pick that genre because it is the biggest genre in regards to the amount of movies and the amount of money being made and stuff like that. I just don't see a Warner Brothers property trashing the genre that is their biggest franchise.
Well, so I don't even think it's trashing. I just think that the humor is very basic. It doesn't seem like it's anything new to me.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see kind of what perspective they take because, like, clearly, like that voicemail was from someone that we're not supposed to like. So maybe this is from the perspective of like they're wrong about what we're trying to do here. Like they don't believe in us. Like HBO does that a lot, where they're just filled with terrible characters that we're not supposed to root for. So maybe it is like in defense of the genre and proving no, that's not all that they are. They are something more. Like we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Okay, let's finish this this trailer off.
Fuck nerds. Crying face emoji, crying face emoji, crying face emoji.
What a day.
It's right around the corner.
What day did it say?
October 6th.
Oh, okay. Day before Superman Lois. Going from episode 1 of that into Superman Lois.
So the thing about it is, if this is a weekly release, which it probably will be, I'll probably
HBO.
try and watch it and talk about it. You know what I mean? Each day, each week, if we do that. I had a couple other trailers here. Let's see where it's at. There was a. Did you guys hear about Tyrese Gibson being arrested for failing to pay child support?
Yeah, I did see that.
$74,000.
I even made a pun. I was like, "You can't speed away from your fatherly duties."
Yeah, that guy just has the worst luck with everything. He just can't stop getting in trouble. All right, so let's see. The other trailer we were going to look at. Actually, there seems to be a new Wicked trailer. Did you guys see that? A new Wicked trailer came out.
Is that a threat?
Maybe, possibly. Here we go.
I'll tell you what, Quentin, I think HBO is dying for another show like Entourage, where it can be very satirical and very,
I think
stuff like that. Like Entourage, epic. Yeah, like the whole show's pretty good. I don't necessarily love some of the scenes.
Hey, DJ Eric, Quindlen sent like a members chat. Just
really?
Know.
Let me see.
I wonder if Booster Gold's going to be HBO or just Max, because I feel like that could be like a very.
I think it depends how you attack that show. If you make it a flat out comedy, then you probably just go Max. But I feel like if you can do something interesting with it, then maybe HBO. But it probably depends. Also, you can only have a certain amount of HBO shows a year. Because it's Sunday night HBO.
So we have two things to answer here before we watch the trailer. So Quindlen sent a member chat. Thank you, 3Dub, for pointing it out. For 34 months. Thank you, Quindlen. Are you watching Penguin and/or Agatha this month? I'm going to watch both of them. I don't know if I'm in the long haul for Penguin. I'm going to give it a shot and see what I think about it. But if it's not catching me in the first couple episodes, I'll probably wait till the whole thing comes out. But Agatha, I'm 100% going to watch because I've been waiting for that show. So I'm excited.
All the shows are kind of starting at once because we got Penguin, Agatha, Superman. The new season of that like Walking Dead spinoff is also coming out.
That's true.
Like there's like all the kind
and Rings of Power is on right now too. That's still airing. So a lot of stuff.
So
we went through a drought. There was a lot of time there where there was really not a lot being on or whatever. Is everybody watching all those or not?
I'm basically gonna wait till they're all out and then I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
AG?
Yeah, Rings of Power is the only thing I'm watching at the moment, but that's just because.
Well, these other two aren't out yet. I was asking, are you planning on watching them? So
Penguin, probably maybe? Yes to the Penguin. Agatha. TBC. TBC.
All right. Troy here. I missed this as well. Sorry, Troy. We were watching trailers. $5 super chat. I said already, Superman is the best known hero, but villain wise, it's Lex to the normies. I think they greatly outweigh his box office appeal. Do you guys agree with that?
I would say I honestly think either Batman or Spider-Man is the most known now in like a 2024 sense. It's probably those two, Batman or Spider-Man. But Superman's probably like third or fourth.
I think that, like, for me, like, there's Superman,
Michael
Batman,
Rosenbaum?
Spider-Man are basically the top three that will almost always have a fan base that follows them to the movies.
Batman and Spider-Man are the most popular. I think Superman's the most like recognizable in terms of its symbol.
In regards to
it's-
like sellable, like marketable, I think it's
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Batman. Yeah.
I'd say I think Superman's like the mascot for superheroes. Like when you think of superhero,
Yeah.
Superman, but Batman and Spider-Man will always be more popular. And
There's something cool about the two of them that Superman just doesn't have.
Yeah.
Not that Superman isn't cool,
Well,
but
you know
there's like
what?
an edginess for Spider-Man and Batman.
They gave him
Obvious,
too
isn't it?
many weaknesses. Like Batman is just a man that kicks ass,
No, it's not that. I don't think it's that. I think it's,
which he's more interesting. That's what I'm trying to say.
no, it's because what do Batman and Spider-Man do that Superman doesn't?
They're violent.
Has a mask. They both have a mask.
Oh, yeah,
Superman
yeah,
just
true.
is just some normal dude.
Yeah.
in the
Well,
suit.
yeah, I
Can
mean,
look silly.
glasses. You know, the
This
mask
might
is
be a
cool.
hot take, but if we're talking about RDJ's Iron Man versus any other Superman in the industry, we already saw that because that's basically the difference between Man of Steel and like Iron Man in the MCU. Iron Man is a highly profitable character because of RDJ and because of the
one
MCU.
of them.
Yeah.
There's one like recognizable Iron Man when there's Batman and Batman and Batman and Spider-Man and Spider-Man and
And
Spider-Man.
that's the issue
even
is that
Superman.
RDJ is the box office. Like in this scenario, if we're talking about RDJ's Iron Man, it's always gonna. That's exactly why he's back for the Avengers movie. That's $1 billion check written right there for the film. So
Defunct, you're right. His superpower is he's rich.
which is why, not to get off topic because I know you're trying to show the trailer, but it's why I think we're going to be rebooting some things after Secret Wars because Iron Man, they want that character to keep running and they can't do it because they only want to do MCU stuff. So how do you do it? Bring back a new Iron Man.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not really all. When we're in between things, I don't mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the terms of that, I think that RDJ being hired. I've said this before. Whether we disagree with that because of the heritage or the fact that he was Tony Stark first or whatever your reason is for not liking him, strategically, and I hate to say this, it is going to be a massive success for Marvel, no matter what. And I think that's something that we have to understand. I'm not condoning it, co-signing to it, saying it was a good idea. I think it's still kind of questionable in general for having back from a storytelling standpoint. But from a money standpoint, you might as well just write that $1 billion check for them. Him being back in those movies. So,
I think it was like a business move, which I think
100. It was 100% a business move. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Wicked trailer. I don't know if it's this long because it's on Pagey's favorite page, which is Joe Blow upcoming movies. So,
I can
You and
see
Joe
why.
Blow, it's like a match made in hell.
Here we go. What are we,
10 seconds.
No. Listen.
Okay. You want me to play it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's Aussians.
People that live in Oz.
Welcome
Why
back,
would you-
Aussians.
Don't try and
5 hours later, we get to 1 minute.
don't start this shit. Don't take the Australian like shortening and do
Ariana
Aussians.
Grande can do anything she wants. I'm just saying.
Well,
She's Ariana
she can't
Grande.
fucking act, so there's one thing she can't do. It's trailer not approved.
The VFX looked better already. from
Yeah, I
the
remember that
trailer
first
rewatch.
trailer we watched. That was
Because like
not
if
very
you look,
good.
if you look back here at the train, that looks good. In the first trailer, they looked very disconnected. So that's. I want to say the costuming looks really good in this.
Was that Lucy
happy
Liu?
about this. Yes.
It's Michelle Yeoh.
Yes, it's Lucy Liu 3-dub.
Racist.
That's
How does that look like
everything-
Lucy Liu?
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Just remember that. And Star Trek. You don't see. You know what? Never mind. Let's just keep going.
Well, are you? Why?
Hold on.
How
Why
do you
is
know?
why is Simba
Why is
in
this? Yeah, I was gonna,
Toto is a dog. I don't know
Okay.
what,
Yeah,
what this
that's
is
a
all
tiger.
about.
Is
Hold
that-
on. Can somebody fill me in? What the fuck is the little like Simba in the basket? I don't totally
I
understand.
don't know. I haven't seen the Broadway show.
I have, but I don't really remember a Simba in it. But anyway, let's go ahead.
That would make sense.
That does
But
make
no,
sense, actually.
But wait, we already saw him right inside the lineup with the rest of them.
yeah,
at-
but this
at
is
the
set
start.
before. This is like a prequel
Oh,
to the.
gotcha.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm just wondering, it's like the age gap, I guess.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
That makes
actually
sense,
really
I
cool.
guess.
Now it makes sense. That
So
Simba's
do
in
we
there.
get origins for like the Tin Man and
Probably.
the Scarecrow as well in this movie?
Yeah, I'm guessing we would. Yeah.
It's a 2-part movie, so they
okay.
have time.
That's where I know.
Oh
it
yeah, it
from.
is
Okay.
2-part movie, isn't it? I forgot about that.
They're trying their best not to let people know that because I think there's a stigma around 2-part films.
It's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's actually funny. She's actually in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Shang-Chi as 2 different characters.
Well, you don't remember that whole drama about that? There was a bunch of drama about that. So.
No, there was a drama about her doing that, and then there was drama about what's the actress? She's in Captain Marvel and Eternals. Can't remember the actress name off the top of my head.
She played an alien.
I don't remember that
in
drama.
one-
Which one are we talking about?
She played one of the Kree in Captain Marvel, and she was in the Eternals. Same actress.
Oh,
Can't remember her name.
Dar-Ben? Is that what we're talking about? The one that played
No,
Dar-Ben?
Gemma Chan. That's it, Gemma Chan. She
Oh,
was in
okay.
Captain Marvel and then the Eternals.
Oh, she was. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I forgot about that, honestly. Forgot about that one. All right. Let's continue. I will say, though, the first trailer didn't have me, but I'm kind of
The first
like...
trailer didn't want to show much, and then didn't look good as well.
Doesn't
Like, the
this
VFX wasn't
feel
done.
like Maleficent, where it's like she's like the reverse, like she's good,
Yeah.
and then turns evil?
Yes, it's very much that. I'm kind of excited to see this now, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, they're finally showing it's a musical, which is what
Yeah.
I wanted from that first trailer.
Which is something that they've tried to hide from Joker 2, which I'm a little bit confused about, but anyway.
Funny is, do we ever see them sing like in visual, or is it just the audio?
It's just the audio. I don't think we ever see
I
it
think
in
they're
the
still
visual.
hiding it.
A little,
A little bit.
But I think this is the best way to do it. Like,
Yeah.
Guys,
I will say, though, now I'm excited to see this. I actually think this looks
Mm-hmm.
really good to me. The changes they did to the special effects and everything look really solid.
And I think the original Wizard of Oz was a musical too.
That's not.
Like it had musical like numbers.
There were songs in it, but it wasn't.
But it just uses the well, up to see the wizard pretty much over
Yeah.
and over. It just repeats it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a song at the beginning, just like like Right Over the Rainbow or something.
Somewhere
like,
under the
at
rainbow, which was added late. It wasn't actually meant to originally be in the movie.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I remember I had to study that fucking movie at school. Love the movie, did my head in though, having to study that movie.
All right, so we have one more trailer to watch. Darren, what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I mean, I was just going to say, I've been very excited for this because I've never seen the musical, and it's one I've wanted to always see, and I've been kind of like avoiding the music because, like, all right, this is coming out. I get to enjoy it in the cinema while this is coming out.
The interesting thing with it is because it's not a Warner Brothers movie, they can't really use the depictions from the. I don't think they can use the actual depictions that were in like the Warner Brothers movie. So like the lines actually align and he's not standing up and stuff like that. So I wonder if but I think that funnily enough, if you speak about like accuracy and stuff, it's pretty accurate to the original book.
T-Funk agrees with me about it being a musical because
It's a musical to a sense, but it's not like a classic
it's not like an official musical.
Yeah, it's not like High School Musical, but at the same time,
well,
it's...
I don't know if High School Musical is the
Well,
reference.
I will say this. Ariana Grande's new album is amazing. I love just about every song on it, so I'm totally...
Okay, it's not like Rent.
I'll tell you
Is
what
that
song.
better?
Thank you.
I'll tell you what song from Ariana Grande, whenever it was like years ago, that stuck in my head. It was like the one that she did with Zed.
Break Free.
Yeah, it's like this is.
Yeah.
That one. What? Yeah, obviously, I've seen it.
Well, that's
incredibly
mostly
accurately.
that's mostly because that's Zed's production.
No, you know why? It's because they used to play it where I used to work non-stop.
Well,
It'd be
now she
fucking
has a
on
new
the radio.
album, and Yes and was kind of
Yeah, isn't
I
it
don't
like
wanna say
all
it was a
that? Isn't
flop,
it like
but
a?
didn't do really well?
Isn't it all like very sexual?
No.
Oh, maybe I'm.
You might be thinking of like I don't know who you're thinking of, but no,
Are you
it's
sure?
not very sexual. So yeah, I'm positive. I play her music every weekend. It's not.
Yeah,
she's
maybe
got-
you're numb to it.
No, she's got a song called "The Boy Is Mine," which is a remake of that older song with Monica and Brandy, but it's like updated. She actually did a version with Monica and Brandy, which is really good. "We Can't Be Friends" is like a house track. It's really
Oh,
good.
okay. I
It's
knew there
really
were
good.
positions was the sexual.
Yeah, that was,
element.
but that was like years ago. Like years ago.
Maybe I'm late to the party.
Very late. That was also one that people didn't like. They said that was one of her worst albums, although I thought 34, 35 was really good. Season 4 of Superman and Lois synopsis
It's
is
the
out?
first episode of
Yeah,
two
first and
episodes.
first and second episode.
They
I
don't
believe.
reveal much. It's pretty basic.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that.
Did you guys see the episode 4 thing that was going around?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we talked about that.
We
Yeah.
talked about it.
Sorry.
Eric
I said that sounds like a nightmare to me. Like I really don't want to see that episode.
It makes me like think that my theory about Superman being dead or missing for 5 episodes is going to happen.
Right.
That doesn't sound good to me, but also it's like so in fashion with what the Arrowverse was doing that it almost makes me a bit happy that we get one more of these really silly episodes.
I will say that wasn't my favorite of her albums, but I love, like, I know this song is probably a deep cut, maybe it's not, but the people that know it. But Monopoly with her and Victoria Monet is one of my favorite songs, and so Victoria Monet's new music is really good. She's got a couple songs that I really like. "On My Mama" is like a great song now. It's a little slow for the club, but I like. Am I speaking like completely hieroglyphically to people? Is like anything making sense at all? I don't know. Should I be doing like drawings of things in the background?
Well, Eric, when we came into the stream before, Eric was playing Cannibal Corpse, which I was really intrigued
Absolutely
by.
not. 1,000% not. 1,000% not. Although the new Charlie XCX album is really good. Brat is amazing.
Oh, by the way,
Classic
I know
rock.
because we're talking about music, I have to ask because I'm actually really curious because you deal with music, you're a DJ and stuff. Can you tell me what's the trend with like singers not singing in their songs?
TikTok.
Now?
It's TikTok.
Do you think because like I hear that like they're playing that Charlie XCX stuff, especially she's very popular in Australia.
Apple
and stuff.
Apple is a really big song on TikTok right now,
And it's just her talking.
Well,
like
because
and that Sabrina Carpenter, a lot of her song is just talking.
Wait, hold on. I'm not going to put up with. I know Sabrina Carpenter is basic. I get it, but I really like her music.
But I'm not. You can like what you like, but and like Billie Eilish has started making songs. Like that was how she started.
Well, Billie Eilish has got a song with Charlie XCX called "Guess,"
like
which
bad guy, right?
No, it's a new one called "Guess." It just came out like a couple.
But then,
months ago,
Billie Eilish actually was like, "Oh no, I can sing," and she did singing.
Well, all of them can sing. I think even Sabrina Carpenter. If you watch her live,
well,
she
yeah,
actually
don't
knows how to
worry.
sing.
I've listened to "Fancy" by Iggy Azalea enough times to know that Charlie XCX can sing. Don't worry, I'm rocking out to that. Don't get me going.
Think about Iggy Azalea, but anyway,
I'll crank it. I'll crank that Soulja Boy if you know what I mean.
But I think the thing is that everybody's trying to do music that works on TikTok, and the best way to do that is have a catchy.
Or do you think it's also they're making music that people can sing to?
Well, that goes back. Oh my gosh, we're completely sidetracked here, but this goes all the way back to the Beatles music because Beatles music was made for fun radio music, not the John Lennon stuff, but the Paul McCartney stuff was made for fun, like radio music, stuff that would sell because you make harmonies that people can sing along to, and that tends to make hit records. And there's a whole thing about chord progressions and different melodies and things like that. But ultimately, there's certain types of music you can make that is guaranteed that people will just sing along to it and like it. And it's most of the stuff that you hear in the background at stores, like when you're in there working and stuff, and something gets like an earworm.
Yeah.
And you
So
can't
we're
get it out
in
of
the
your head,
DJ Eric segment of this stream.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway,
I'll tell you what I've been listening to a lot. It's just like my playlist, a lot of ska music.
Like what?
Ska.
Oh, that is completely out over here. Like that came in like the late '90s.
No. Just I know, Eric. It's not just arrived on the ship over to Australia. Trust me, I know. But I've just been listening to a bunch of like ska punk and stuff like that. That's
Do
been
you
on my
know
playlist
that
lately.
when he said Scar, I was like,
Scar from Lion King. Is that what you're
Lion King,
thinking?
yeah. I was like, what the heck?
It
was in.
Don't know how we got here, but Miley's backyard is fire. We got here because Ariana Grande is in Wicked, and so we started talking about music from that platform. But I like Miley's new music, and I think Flowers is an amazing song. I know it was controversial because people are like, oh, is it woman empowerment or is it not woman empowerment? I don't know. I still think it's good. And there's a really cool mashup of that with I Will Survive, which I think is amazing.
Do you?
By the way, Demi Lovato's I Will Survive is goated. I love that version of it. So.
Is Miley, is that Miley Cyrus or Miley's
Yes.
Backyard?
I'm assuming it's Miley Cyrus, but I don't know if there's a Miley's Backyard that I don't know.
What's your favorite
hope
Michael
not.
Jackson song? Asks Zion.
Easy question, Rock With You.
Really?
Yep. Easy
What's
one for
mine?
me.
I think mine's.
I think mine is ABC 1, 2, 3. Even though it's like
God, that's fucking basic.
That's not bad. That's a good song by the Jacksons.
Yeah,
Like,
but I
like that
know.
one.
I put mine. I guess mine's probably Black or White or.
I
I would.
Black or White's good too.
I think.
Annie, are you okay?
Are You Okay, Annie was my
Smooth Criminal.
second.
Yeah, that's
That's
a good
it,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Smooth
only
Criminal.
issue is that Alien Ant Farm Smooth Criminal is better than the Michael Jackson version.
I like the Alien Ant Farm version, 100%.
It's not much better, but I just like. I think it suits it better.
Gwendolyn, that's my favorite era of Michael. That whole era, Pretty Young Thing, Rock With You, the Billie Jean era, like all of that stuff was like
My mom
favorite era of
had
Michael Jackson.
it was like this fat ass Michael Jackson. It was like the greatest hits or something. It was him with like a statue or something like that.
Human Nature, the SWV
Human Nature is
remix
great.
of Right Here with Human Nature is great. I love the original SWV version, but those two songs mashed together are
The main reason I remember the time is because of the music video with like, is it Eddie Murphy and
the one where they're pretending they're in Egypt.
Eddie
Eddie Murphy.
Murphy's in it, and I can't remember who the girl
Because
is.
that came out around the time that Coming to America was really big, and I think they were trying to like sort of play into that, like with like this whole like otherworldly vibe to the music and everything. So, but anyway, so now let's get back to where were we? Oh, we have one more trailer. So here's the trailer. I don't know if this is going to be. I might get flagged for this one in the sense that. Hold on, let me just kind of breeze through it quickly before we watch.
But well, quickly on them, are you excited for the Michael Jackson movie? Do you think it's going to be bad?
No, probably not. I think anything post Michael Jackson's passing has been pretty cringe, in my opinion. But
I think it's gonna be too safe. I think they're not.
They won't. Yeah, they won't get into anything.
Yeah, I think the most interesting things you could do with the Michael Jackson biopic, they will not like touch on at all. So
yeah,
I think it's just gonna be them praising him the entire time, which is fine, I guess.
Serenity. A lot of people don't know that Fergie from Black Eyed Peas came from Wild Orchid. Before when she was Stacey.
Your favorite song is "Let's Get It Started" before they.
Nope, it is not. Don't even try it. Actually, my favorite Black Eyed Peas song is "Gotta Be."
Oh, I thought it was gonna be "My Humps."
No, that song I have to play that all the time because it's still really popular, but it's definitely not my favorite. Jennifer Page, my friend Eric Cohen, who's a DJ, lives in Canada now, but he was originally from New England. Did my favorite remix of "Crush." By
My
Jennifer
favorite
Page.
is actually "Pump It."
That's a good one too. I get that one. That gets requested a lot.
lot.
Oh, gross! Like, don't even start with that. Like, what?
And "Boom Boom Pow." I like "Boom Boom Pow."
You're not picking better song titles.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so we're going to watch this trailer. This is going to segue into the last thing I want to talk about before we wrap it up. So if you guys have any super chats or anything like that, you can go ahead and send them through. But thank you guys so much for supporting tonight. Paigey, you've just been awful. Like, what the fuck? All right. So this is a Dave Bautista movie called The Killer's Game, and it looked a little graphic to me, so YouTube may flag this one. I don't know if it'll get flagged for, like, removal, but it might flag it for, like, being too gross or whatever. I don't know. We'll see.
What's to do with all the junk?
But then there's a tweet I want to bring up about Dave Bautista after this as well. So here we go.
Joe Blood, the most prolific professional hitman in Europe. More hits than Motown.
Oh!
Are you okay?
I've got some bad news. It's terminal. I need a contract executed.
Who do you want retired?
Me.
I've thought about doing this for years. You killed my father.
So far it seems good. It's graphic as hell though. So it seems like he was a hitman that is now has a terminal condition, and he wants a hit taken out on him to kind of like go down in glory, like Valhalla, Viking stuff or whatever. Anyway.
But then he finds out.
I've thought about doing this for years.
Yeah. Did you see the trailer? Did you see the trailer already?
I have, yeah. I saw the.
No, I've seen it already too. You didn't spoil it for me already.
I will say this: like having like these two actresses, like actors and actresses. That have been so like integral for the MCU is kind of like out of
actors, yeah.
Together in the same movie. I mean, it's probably not a coincidence that happened, to be honest. So
they probably have chemistry. So
yeah.
Killed my father.
Clock starts at midnight.
You're the client.
There's been a mistake. You're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Doc, I'm gonna have to call you back.
I just want to sell.
I'm canceling the contract.
I want to be clear here. It says from the studio behind John Wick. That doesn't really mean anything. I mean, it's cool that they're the same studio, but it's not the same creative team. But it does look similar, but that doesn't mean it's going to be at the same quality. I just want to point that out.
I'm canceling the contract.
You think you're scared as anything? I'm calling in every hit in Europe.
Yeah, it does kind of like resemble John Wick.
Yeah, I think that's what the vibe they're going for. But it's also colorful and almost pop culture-y. So it looks to me like it's kind of like Suicide Squad a little bit as well.
A little bit of Bullet Train too, just in terms
Yeah.
of the vibe.
I can see that.
Take them all out. There's nothing to stop you from leading a long life.
I just want to say
I got you.
another day
Ouch. And I'm guessing humor too.
Well, I think the thing is people know that, and I know he probably doesn't like this, but Dave Bautista's funny. And he's funny because he's an unassuming comedian, like you don't expect him to be. And then he does something like that. And I think that
You
that's
can't
kinda
see
where
me
it's,
eating this potato
Right,
chip.
right. Yeah, very like that.
You get the horn. I'm stone cold, motherfucker. Give me that. That's where you shoot your dick off.
Anyway, so this comes out very soon. I don't know what the budget is on this. Let me see.
Probably less.
There's a lot of stars in it though.
Yeah, I think the budget of it's probably high because of the amount of stars in it. It doesn't say what the budget is. I'm going to guess
tell you
probably
what.
around 50 to 60 million, most likely.
They'd be concerned because that movie's made by Lionsgate, and they're the ones with.
They're not having a good year.
Did they do?
It says, oh well.
They did Borderlands. They didn't do Purple Crayon. They did another one, didn't they?
Oh God, Purple Crayon. So let me tell you a funny story about that before we get into these pictures here. But we were doing a movie night, and so we had a few movies bookmarked that we could watch, and that was one of the movies. And our friends that were here, we were going through and looking, and we had like Fall Guy and a few other things. And we got to that movie, and they were like, hell fucking no. Like, we literally were 30 seconds into that trailer. They're like, this looks awful. Who the fuck greenlit this movie? And I'll be honest, I don't know where that movie came from either, because it seems like such a really dumb film to make. Has anybody seen it? Because I'm just curious.
I grew up on the book. I used to watch the book growing up. Or not watch it, but I used to read the book growing up. I used to like watch the like cartoon, and I feel like concept-wise, it's a great concept for a movie. A kid that can draw anything, like that's a great concept. But I think just like, well, you make him a grown-up, and that kind of takes away all the fun of like a kid. I don't know.
Naruto with the $5 super chat. It's 1 a.m. here. I can't keep my eyes open. I will finish in the morning. Good night. Thanks for hanging out, Naruto, and thank you for all the super chats. It's always a pleasure having you here, and for all your support. Sleep really good, and this will be available for you in the morning. We're done with the trailer, so you saw all the stuff that could possibly get cut out. We're done with. Okay, so I saw this picture, obviously, Dave Bautista here. This is going on social media. A lot of you might know where I'm going with this because I've seen a lot of bad takes about what he looks like now compared to what he looked like a couple years ago, and probably back when this movie was filming. But we see this picture, and the caption of this tweet is "What happened to him?" And then we see this here, which is him at the tip, which is the film awards or whatever, or the film festival. And it looks like he's just decided that when he's not putting movies together, he's going to not keep up the weight. And
I
might
think
not ever
if you're
put it
not
back on,
if you're not maintaining the workout and stuff like that, you drop it quickly. Like you have to, and also eating a lot to maintain that as well. So if he doesn't have a specific role, like I'm sure if he got cast in a role where he had to be muscly and everything and be like what people expect Batista to be like,
he could spend a couple of months in the gym and be ready.
It'd take him 2 months probably to get back to that, because he'd have like a workout regime that he had to do. Like, like especially when he was doing wrestling for that long, like they're pretty much on, like they know what they're doing and stuff. Like John Cena is dropped as well. Like I don't think people realize that John Cena is.
Yeah, we saw the pictures of him. Like,
he's still built. He's still built. Like he's much more built than Batista is. But also he's doing Peacemaker at the moment. He has to stay like that. But he's also smaller than he was.
Yeah. I also want to point out, and just a reminder for people that want to go in on like weight changes with actors. Remember when everybody did that shit to Chadwick Boseman before we found out that he was sick?
Yeah.
And they were kind of making fun of him. What happened to him? He looks like blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Like, I don't think that's happening with Dave Bautista, put it that way, because he made a statement a while ago saying that he wasn't going to continue like the keeping up the weight between films and everything. Because the truth is he could be cast in a role where he doesn't have to be like massively muscular or whatever. But the point is that this internet culture about like commenting on celebrities' weight changes and acting like it's like something they did on purpose, or blah blah blah, whatever it might be. Like, just be mindful that, like, if somebody does have something, you don't want to be that person that like tweets out or post up something on TikTok where you're like, oh, look what the fuck happened, they look shitty and blah blah blah. Like, you don't want to be that person. You just don't want to be that person.
This is just, yeah, like this is lessons you learn in kindergarten. Don't comment on people's bodies. Like it's crazy we're still dealing with this, and this happens on the internet every day. Where
by the way,
I don't.
He looks amazing anyway. Like the whole fit looks great. Like I don't know what the problem is.
He looks fine. It's just that like everyone's just like, oh well, he has to look like. I guess it's just like I guess they want him to. I guess they thinking he's going to go back to wrestling or something like that. Like
he's done with that. That part of his life is over. So he's just acting now. And remember, a couple years ago we talked about this. How I thought it was funny that he didn't want to do those kinds of roles. I'm like, I don't know how he's going to do that when he's got this like 3Dub said earlier, like you get typecast as a character, and that's kind of what he is in that Killer's Game movie. He's just being typecast as another like action guy, and he wants to be taken seriously. And really, the only way that's going to happen for him is if he does something like this anyway, because it's going to force people to cast him for something that isn't always going to be like the muscular. He could still be an action star, but maybe he doesn't have to look like The Rock. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's not the vibe he's going for.
Reeves, Keanu Reeves and stuff like that. So like,
I shared something from his past too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll look at it here in a second.
Why are you trying to cancel him?
No. He's not trying to cancel him. Anyway, we have another super chat here from Troy, $2 super chat. SWV, my man Eric, us DJs know what's up. Well, the lead singer for SWV, Coco, actually lives in this area, and she's been at venues that I've been DJing at, and I have a bunch of great remixes of SWV. But yeah, a lot of people know them from the Human Nature, but who knows about their Weak era? That was a great song. That was what, like the ballad era. That was so good. Ballads don't hit the way they used to because of TikTok making everything a dance song because nobody wants to sing slow music anymore. So let's see what 3Dub shared here. Oh, that's from Smallville, of course. Like I didn't even see what it was, but yes. So.
He was a Kryptonian escapee from the Phantom Zone.
Okay, well, it's good to know that he was on. Was everybody on Smallville at some point in time? Is that what that was?
Yeah, all the well-known actors like Amy Adams and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot.
Every well-known actor was in Smallville.
Yeah, everybody was.
Yeah.
All right, so we're coming up on the 3-hour mark, but I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to get out of here. So 3Dub, thanks for coming in. Mm-hmm. Darren, always a pleasure having you here with us. Paigey was acting up as usual, but he's still good, even though he's bringing the edginess every single week.
You're the one that started it.
I'm never edgy. You mentioned the gooning thing. I never said anything about that.
No, but that was because of 3Dub. He was setting it up. It sounded like he was planning a session.
What?
He's saying pump it and boom boom
pound. Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's just songs I like from Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, quote unquote song.
He said it was sus, but I disagree. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. I'll be live again on Thursday night. So.
Peacock by Katy Perry as well.
I like that song. What's wrong with that song? That was before she got all weird.
Peacock.
Yeah. That's the point of the song. That's the point of the song. Anyway, I'll see everybody on Thursday. Have a good night. We'll talk to everyone later.